they know, Oxford, now that they've shown little shoots, little sparks of something like relegation saving form? But anyway, Mick, even what we've heard this week, if they can stay in the Championship for a few more weeks, they can have a shot at finishing 8th next season and end up in the Premier League, can't they?
Well, absolutely, yeah. There's an incentive for the players. Stay in the Championship, and you never know, in a couple of seasons' time, you might be maybe pushing towards the Premier League. But look, they started their work, didn't they, at the weekend? They got that win, beating sides that are around them, trying to just claw your way out of that bottom 3, and that's the incentive tonight for them.
Yes, and we're referring there, of course, to the move this week to extend the Championship playoffs to a 6-team tournament from next season. It won't change this season, though. Preston would hope that it did. They find themselves needing points and dramatically in need of them too. They can rise to 8th tonight ahead of the Saturday games. Oxford know that they will come out of the bottom 3 if they can find a win at Deepdale. The teams are out in front of us. Preston in their famous lily white shirts, dark blue shorts and white socks. They're away to mine and Mickey's right. Oxford also in their home kits, defending as it stands the end, frequented by, I'm going to say, about 400 travelling supporters who've made the long trip up, the best part of a 7-hour round trip from Oxfordshire. They are in their yellow with blue sleeves, dark blue shorts and yellow socks. The captains are in the middle with the mascots and the photographers and the dignitaries as we're shaping up for kick-off in this one. Just under 2 minutes to go. We've got Wolves versus Liverpool in the FA Cup 5th round over on Talksport with Jim Proudfoot and Charlie Adam. These two, though, fighting very different battles. Let's have a look at the teams then. Preston have Cornell in goal. A back 3 we think of Story, Gibson and Hughes. Offia, Whiteman, Thompson and Devine across midfield with Lang playing behind Dobbin and Osmajic. As for Oxford, Cumming is the goalkeeper. Should be a back 4. Curry, Brown, Hellick and Long. Brannigan and Connacht in sitting midfield behind Donnelly. Mills and Pete Harris, the wide men. Lancashire leading the line. As for Preston, it's going to be Walton, the backup goalkeeper, who had his run in the team a few weeks ago. They're without their number 1 stopper, Daniel Everson, to injury. Also Vukovic, Valentine, McCann, Jebison, Moran, Smith, Small and Potts. And for the away side, Ingram is the backup stopper. Vokes, Mark Harris, Idemo Marku, Spencer, Prelets, Chonjinwu, Makoso and McDonnell. As the bars of wise men say ring around Deepdale, Mickey, you'll feel right at home alongside.
Yeah, it's my era, this, isn't it? But yeah, let's hope this is a cracking game tonight and we see lots of goals.
Well, the former Sunderland fullback Mickey Gray alongside me, Cameron Pope, we're all set. It's going to be Preston to get us underway. Two sides who struggle to find the net, and they're struggling at opposite ends of the Championship table at the moment. So many storylines still to be completed in this season's EFL Championship. Preston have ground to make up on the top 6. Oxford can haul themselves out of the relegation places with a win. Championship football live on Talksport 2 on your Friday nights. As Preston, with that 8-point gap, look to try and turn around some ailing home form. Just 1 win in their last 6 in all competitions at Deepdale. Lost 3 times here this calendar year. They lost 4 times only at Deepdale in all of 2025. And they have the first throw-in of the game to be taken by Andrew Hughes, who with his white shirt goes back into his defence. And the North End players will go long upfield up towards Osmajic, where Oxford will take it down. And then the first speculative shot of the night comes from deep from Oxford's Jamie Donnelly. Ball cannons to him in midfield. He's a good 45 yards out, and it ended, as you might have expected, with an easy gather for Preston's Cornell, all in light blue, away to our right. So important for both of these teams.
Yeah, and an interesting thing, Cameron, we couldn't really work out what 5 were going to play at the back for Preston, but it looks like Andrew Hughes is playing as the left wing back at the moment. You know, he's obviously comfortable on that left foot as well, but I think it's all about possession for Preston. They've got that possession at the moment. They've got to try and take the sting out of the game when they can. Would certainly go through the gears when they get into that final third and try and punish Oxford when they get the opportunity. Well, it's interesting you should say that. Oxford are not a team who like to hold the ball, or they've had to get used to not having the ball. They tend to go long periods without it. Spent the least time in possession of any Championship team this season. They do have it now, though, with their goalkeeper, the green-clad Jamie Cumming, who clears over halfway, only for Hughes to head it back the way it came. Flicks it long into the attacking line for Preston. Offside flag is up,
against Milutin Osmajic, thrown on off the bench for the last couple, but in from the start in this one. Flag up and a free kick to Oxford at 0-0, just beyond the edge of their penalty area.
Yeah, I think it's changed again, Cameron. Sorry to keep talking about Preston, but it even looks like a flat back four at the moment.
Well, they have played with a back four on occasion. Paul Heckingbottom's grievance with that, it seems, is that the squad that they've assembled seems to suit the back three. It's going to be interesting to see how they go about this then. And I don't think anyone would blame him for trying to change things up the run that they've been on, as Oxford try a hopeful ball downfield, route one stuff over the head of Lancashire, and it's collected by Cornell at 0-0. At Deepdale on Talksport 2, 3 minutes gone. There's Preston again, pick it up on the halfway line, near side their left with Lewis Dobbin. He's closed down though, and a throw in right on the halfway mark. Yeah,
I see Jordan Thompson and Ben Whiteman in that midfield area. I'm not quite sure with the pitch the way it is if Preston will try and play through that midfield area, if they've got the chance to play that ball forward, get the ball forward and get your forward players involved in the game as quick as you possibly can. I have to say, Oxford have started the game very well. They look organised. They look as if they're up for the fight. The high press seems to be working for them at the moment. They're looking for that ball over the top of this back four of Preston.
Preston in possession. No goals yet on Talksport 2. It's Hughes whipping out to the right-hand side. Far side the Preston right. It's kept in by Odell Afir, and out of a defending shin for a throw-in to North End. 20 yards from the corner flag. They'll go backwards, not forcing the issue in these early stages, all the way back in fact to Di Cornell, and the goalkeeper collecting in his 18-yard box. Rolled short to Lewis Gibson, who's got the whole game ahead of him and uses it, going long ball, left foot up towards the front line, chested down by Lang, but then couldn't control the second ball, and it's cleared away by Oxford, who'll have a free kick actually in the centre circle, with Jamie Donnelly rising for the ball and being clocked in the air, I think by Jordan Thompson there. So a free kick to the away side. No goals after 4 minutes. We're seeing the yellow shirts fan out away to our right as Preston take up their defensive shape. No chances to speak about yet in this game. Not been the place for goals. Deepdale, long it goes into the penalty area. Oh, this could be a chance here. Oh, it's in. Michal Helik has scored for Oxford. Route one from the free kick straight into the penalty area, and Michal Helik, who hasn't scored all season, has given the side, sitting 23rd in division, the lead against Preston North End, whose troubles look to continue. Winless in 4 games, the home team. Promotion aspirations fading now, and fading fast. Oxford United lead at Deepdale.
Well, I've got to say, it was like time stood still, because Oxford win the free kick in the centre circle, and it's Donnelly who plays this wonderful ball over the top of the back line of Preston, and they all just switched off. But Helik has done absolutely outstanding. His first touch is wonderful to get away from his marker, off his chest, but then as the ball is heading towards that Preston goal, that's when time stood still. Where are the Preston defenders wrapping around to try and clear the lines to keep that ball out of the goal, Cameron? It's brilliant from Oxford, but it's a horrible start from Preston.
Very strange goal. A free kick from the centre circle, straight downfield. Helik seems to have no marker around him, just walks into the penalty area and then sticks a boot out as Preston try and mount an instant response. Goalkeeper seemed late coming. Defenders couldn't get there after it was tipped past the sprawling Cornell, and then the centre halves trying to clear it off the line. It ends up in a tangle in the net, a tangle of legs, the ball over the line. Oxford couldn't quite believe it had been so easy for them, as Preston now crossing the left-hand side into a sea of bodies. Osmajic is in there, and Lang it was who was nearest to it, couldn't get a shot away. And so Preston fans who've seen their side concede already are at least happy with the way their team have responded. 1-0 down, 6 minutes gone. Quick passing triangles from this throw-in out to the right-hand side, and the shot at goal is way too high. And well, you can't fault them for trying with the start of the game as it is, but it was Ben Whiteman with the shot, and 25 yards out, tried to curl it towards goal, got right underneath it, and it clears the crossbar by some margin. So the 7th minute of the game, and it has been a start at blistering pace for Oxford United and for their manager Matt Bloomfield. now 7 weeks into his task of trying to keep his side in the division, looking for win number 3 in his post tonight. And a brilliant start from them. Heads go up on halfway. Sam Long of Oxford winning it. Now down the near side, Oxford right it goes towards Lancashire. Orange boots holding the ball up by the corner flag. Lewis Gibson is tight to him in the corner. Preston have got a foot on it now. Will clear at the line. It was won by Long. Still only 20 yards from the corner flag here, Oxford. They could mount a push for a second. Tried to get a foot in and win it back. Dobbin has taken it for Preston and runs it with pace up towards halfway. He got away quickly there from Yunus Konak and was eventually stopped by Mihar Helik in the back line. So Preston are starting to flex their muscles. It's a little bit late though. Already trailing 1-0 in this championship game. Long ball forward for Oxford. Up towards Miles Peart-Harris, who's 35 yards out from goal. Has to turn it back away from the attack. And Konak, the Brentford loanee, will take a moment. Squares it up the halfway line towards Kieran Brown with his ponytail. Played into the midfield looking for Peart-Harris. It took 2 attempts to get to him. And now picked up by the captain, Cameron Brannigan, who's stopped by the boots of Jordan Storey. And Oxford have a throw-in halfway inside the Preston half. They lead 1-0.
Well, talk about a wake-up call in a game, and it's certainly what Preston have had. Look, they come out the traps very well, and they were getting the ball forward, but you have to stay switched on. It's the early stages of the game, and now they've got to climb that mountain yet again. How many times is it going to happen to Paul Heckinbottom's side?
Well, we are anticipating a long Oxford throw here. Having said that, they've got a short option now. Jack Curry ready to take it on the left-hand side, flings it into the area. Defensive header from Gibson, only half cleared. Back in towards the penalty spot. Oh, a scramble for this ball as well. They're all after it. Konak was in there. Preston still trying to defend. It's crossed in from the right-hand side to the back post and then blazed over the crossbar. Stan Mills with the cross. Kieran Brown with the header. He just couldn't keep it down. Nobody rose with him on the 6-yard line. He puts it straight down the middle. 5 yards over. And Mickey Gray, that was a chance for 2-0.
It's got to be 2-0. It's a brilliant chance from Stanley Mills. It is. It's played to the back stick. It's a lovely float across. But where does it come from? Preston giving the ball away. Look really nervy. They've got to start defending better.
And they've gone route one up towards Osmajic. It was sent away by Brown. It was off balance and he stayed down, Kieran Brown, in the penalty area. He's just picking himself back up to his feet. And he's holding the small of his back. His teammates did manage to clear it away. It's 1-0 Oxford. 10 minutes gone on Talksport 2 at Deepdale. As Preston will begin from a goal kick. Hughes out of defence and over halfway. Thompson into the attacking line with Devine. Yellow boots, 35 yards out on the left side. Crossing towards the back post. Heads went up for it. Lang was nearest again. Couldn't win it on the aerial though. And Jack Curry clears out of his penalty area. White shirts coming again. Dobbin near side of Preston left. Had nobody around him in white. It was won off him initially by Mills there, but it came off his yellow socks last. And Preston have a throw. It's played backwards towards Gibson, the centre-back, left of the three. Forward it comes now into the midfield, up towards Jordan Thompson on the edge of the box. Into the area went Dobbin, shouts of handball against the defender Konak. And the referee, who tonight is Andrew Kitchen, giving them no heed. Meanwhile, Preston are still pushing. One down. 11 minutes gone on Talksport 2. Forward by Whiteman. This time out to the right-hand side for Offia. Crossed in towards the penalty area. Osmajic 1-1. Milutin Osmajic with the goal. Brilliant cross by Offia to the corner of the 6-yard box. Osmajic got down low. Powerful header. Goalkeeper couldn't get there. Nestles in the bottom corner. And it's Preston North End 1, Oxford United 1.
Well, you want a reaction. That is the reaction that you want from Preston North End. Play to your strengths. Get the ball into Oxford's 18-yard area. It's a wonderful reverse cross from Offia. And again, Osmajic, he just makes that run to get away from his marker. Look, I had a quick look at it, Cameron. I thought he might have been in an offside position, but I think he's timed his run perfectly, and it's a wonderful header.
Well, the Championship, as we well know, not aided by VAR. That's the word we're going to use this week. And I must say, Mickey, in real time, I did wonder there if we might see the flutter of a flag on the far side. It was very close though, couldn't tell in real time, and Osmajic wasn't hanging around. He had a little look over his shoulder at where the assistant referee is, but it's an excellent header, powerful and well placed, and Preston, after a very poor start in the opening 12 minutes, are back at parity now as they try and close the gap on the playoff spaces above them. Can only go as high as 8th tonight with victory. Oxford trying to haul themselves out of the bottom 3. Spent all of 3 days, or all but 3 days I should say, in the relegation zone since early December, as we head into a packed championship programme this weekend. Big tackle on halfway has gone the Oxford way, and forward now comes Mills in the centre circle, riding the challenge of Whiteman. Still going the Oxford man. It's Mills' corner of the area, and then went for goal. A tame save it was for Cornell. I thought he might have been better served there with Will Lancashire in the penalty area. Lancashire threw his arms up. He wanted a cross to have an aim at the goal.
Well, he was always kind of struggling to get his shot away, Mills. He done really well actually to work the ball back onto his right foot, but you can hear the moans and the groans. Preston players pulling out of challenges. You can't do that in front of your home fans, especially when you know what's at stake tonight.
It's not a happy atmosphere at Deepdale at the moment. Crossed in towards Osmajic again. Oh, he's going for the same finish. This time it was from Jordan Story, the cross, and a bit further out this time Osmajic, nearer the penalty spot, had to stoop again. This time the defenders were wise to it, and I think their presence took the sting out of the operation, and this time Cumming was able to get down to his left and make a rather comfortable save. So 1-1, coming up to the quarter hour mark on Talksport 2. These two sides have cancelled each other out, as Oxford are campaigning, and will get a free kick just inside the Preston half. It's Miles Pitt-Harris, January signing from Brentford, who was upended as he went for an aerial ball, and so he and others in yellow shirts will edge towards the penalty area. Preston playing a high line, 2 stripes of the greenery outside their penalty area, or what is green of it, much of it being brown after a cold winter around these parts. I've been told it's been a tough few weeks for the Deepdale ground staff. Paul Heckingbottom has voiced his concern. Here comes the swinging ball into the penalty area. Lancashire trying to get a shot away. It was blocked initially, and then Donnelly's follow-up from the 18 is wide. A long way at that. But questions have to be asked again about the ease with which Oxford were able to pick out yellow shirts in the area. Defenders slow on the uptake, and 2 shots fail to find the target.
I just wonder how comfortable Preston are with this back 4, because every time that Oxford get the ball anywhere near that Preston 18-yard area, they look a bag of nerves. I mean, Lancashire should actually do better. His first touch is very good, just struggles to get his shot away, but when it comes back to Donnelly, he's just got to try and guide it into the top corner.
Here's Curry for Preston, far side right channel into the penalty area, had options in there as well. Devine was waiting for it, back out to the edge of the box, but the covering defenders are strong enough to deal with it. Jamie Donnelly taking it away from Odell Offia, and out for a throw-in to Preston, who have looked better going forward since going behind. At the back, as you say, Mickey, those questions continue to be asked of the side who are struggling to find the right formula as the championship season nears its conclusion. Forward they come again, Preston with Lang this time. Far side there, right, ran straight into the defender Curry, so out of his shins, and a throw-in to North End, 10 yards adjacent to the corner flag. It's like watching 2 teams, Mickey, is what I can glean from this. One side, a side who look good going forward, and a side who are having a horrible time at the back as they cross in again. This time up towards Osmajic, and Dobbin is in there. Nobody can control it. It's run away from danger by Brannigan first, and now over halfway, and without any challenges on him, go Mills into the 18-yard box. Whiteman's trying to stop him. Mills, oh, it would have been a fabulous goal, but he's put it just over the top. Well, he was allowed to run 40 yards into the 18-yard box. Nobody got near him in a Preston shirt. Eventually, Whiteman, the captain, said, I might just stop this. Tried to put his foot in the way, sent the Oxford man around him, and then it sent flying over the crossbar. A massive let-off for Preston North End. It remains 1 goal apiece.
Well, look, this just cannot happen. I mean, it's a wonderful run again from Stanley Mills. Look, he could have got a couple of goals already in this game. He's ran from his own half, unmarked, 2 centre-halves, trying to push him onto his left foot. He's still got his shot away. And again, if he just calms himself down at the right moment, hit the target, his side, Oxford I'm talking about, could have been in front yet again. This is terrible defending from Preston.
Well, you can see where the struggles for goals have come from. Peart Harris for Oxford coming forward. Far side, the Oxford left. He was stopped by Whiteman, who's doing most of the tackling for Preston at the moment. And so a throw in to the away side. And a very quiet Deepdale at 1-1 in this game. 17 and a half on the electronic clock away to our left. That's the end with no action at the moment. And we are preparing for another long throw in here. Here it comes from Peart Harris. Got a strong arm behind it. Away by Lang up towards the 18-yard. Collected by Oxford's Long. Whipped out left-hand side. It was a forceful ball. It allowed Lang, the defender, to get in there. But not with the control to force it back off the Oxford man. And it is an Oxford throw-in. 1-1. As we prepare for what seems like the 5th or 6th long throw of the game so far. Peart Harris again. He's about 30 yards from the corner flag, so it's a good 50 yards to go. He's eaten up about 30 yards of that with the throw. It's gone right into the mix again. Another scramble of bodies, and then the shot from Lancashire eventually, who had his back to goal. It was a difficult chance to take on the penalty spot. Tried to turn his defender, didn't get the angle right, and it trickles out harmlessly for a Preston goal kick. 1-1.
Cameron, I think every time that the ball's gone in Preston's 18-yard area, the Oxford players have gained first touch. Now, even in that situation, Lancashire's got his back towards goal. He's just got to look for one of his teammates and lay the ball off. He's tried to do the out of ordinary, if you like, and swivel and just get his shot away. It would have been a wonder goal. But that is really concerning from Preston's point of view. They look nervy at the back. This game itself is just frantic. It's end to end, but things have got to change.
As Osmaic controls on the edge of the penalty area, and he's got Dobbin arriving left side for Preston. Ground cross into the area, speared away by Sam Long on the ground as he hits it, and then cleared upfield by Stan Mills. And this time there is nobody up there in yellow. It remains 1-1. Going back, Mickey, to what you said about defenders used to playing in a back three who are now playing in a back four. As a former fullback yourself, what's it like for a fullback having to play in a central role, and vice versa, a centre half having to move out to a fullback? Is it a big switch up, and is that causing the root of the problems, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you want to feel comfortable. I'll just stop here because Preston are on the break.
Well, Osmaic controlling in his 18-yard box, and then suddenly there was a swarm of yellow shirts around him. So taken back by Oxford, up towards halfway for Miles Peart Harris, who can't get in there ahead of Ophir. His contribution applauded by Preston supporters and by Mickey Gray. And it's back to Cornell at 1-1.
Yeah, it's better, isn't it, from Ophir? He just got himself in a better position. But going back to the 4 at the back or 3 centre-halves, you want to feel comfortable on a weekly basis and have that understanding with your centre-halves. Being pushed into wing-back positions is a completely different position altogether. You're expected to break forward when you're in attack, get back when you're defending, be alongside your centre-halves when you need to be nice and tight. Well, at the moment, I'm not seeing no cohesion, no communication, and this is why it's been too easy for Oxford to get that first touch whenever they're breaking forward.
Here come Preston, 35 yards out. Those are the words of Mickey Gray on Talksport 2. As Lang controls for North End, he's all the way over on the far side, the Preston right wing. It sees nothing on further forward and has to go back into his defence once again. 1 goal apiece in this game. Lovely little bit of trickery by Lewis Dobbin to dummy the ball and then take it the long way round against Stan Mills, who did recover and got a foot across it. So a throw-in to be taken by Hughes, and uses it to go backwards again. There have been boos around these parts at times this season. Their side, Preston fans, are being allowed to express themselves defensively for the moment, having won back favour, coming back into this game as there's a forceful challenge from Kieran Brown there on Osmaic. 25 yards out from goal. He came through the back of the Montenegro international. It was untidy, it was powerful, as he sportingly helps Osmaic back to his feet. You've seen yellow cards for less. Indeed, he is going to be brought over by the referee to have a word here, and unsurprisingly, the yellow card does come out for Kieran Brown. Not a great tackle.
No, it wasn't. I think he knew exactly what he was doing. Osmaic certainly would have felt the brunt of that challenge, not knowing it was coming in because he's got his back to play, and Brown's just gone to ground and went basically through the back of his ankles and his calves. Never nice, but what it does do, it gives Preston an opportunity to with 30 yards out here, Cameron, either get a shot away or they can just float that one to the far post And as we've seen, the defender tonight, and just from Oxford and Preston, there's opportunities here.
Certainly an opportunity. It's about 15 yards left of centre. There are 3 Preston men standing around it at the moment. You can see Lang in there, Devine as well. I think that's Jordan Thompson who's nestled in among them. Meanwhile, Oxford at 1-1 are setting their wall. 3 men in it. Still the trio standing over it for Preston. Coming in green in goal is making sure the barricades are in place. In fact, that wall's gone down to 2 players as Thompson leaves this well alone. So it's going to be Devine, or it's going to be Lang, as Preston look to take the lead for the first time in this game. It's Lang, straight at goal, whipped it over the wall, curled it into the goalkeeper's hands though, hit with pace, but the goalkeeper saw it very, very early, and he's distributed well coming. He's played a good 100 yards downfield, and Lancashire has come away from his central berth to the near side Oxford right to keep it in, and goes back to halfway with all outfield players now in the Preston half of the field. Forward it comes from Cameron Brannigan, tried to go up towards the corner flag where he saw Mills. Out off the head of Hughes it goes, and the Oxford players are now preparing themselves for a corner ball. Near side their right, 1-1. They've led already, and they've had multiple opportunities to retake this lead.
Well, Donnelly's tried that diagonal ball on numerous occasions now, hasn't he? It's nearly worked every single time. It's a wonderful pass, and it's the outlet for them. And they're getting so much success from it, Oxford, whether it's set pieces or corners that they have right now.
So, Donnelly it will be. White boots, head bowed. Referee's whistle has sounded. In it comes on the left foot towards the goalkeeper who got a punch on it. Not a convincing one. And they're scrapping forward on the penalty spot. And eventually it's not a clear by Offia, and cleared up towards halfway by Preston. A very belated clearance as Jack Curry comes across from left back to right back to put it down into touch, seeing that Osmajic was rapidly making up the yards towards him. But again, questions after the Preston defence from the set play, and Oxford looking the more likely to open up a lead again in this game. It's 1-1.
Well, again, where's the communication from goalkeeper to centre half as that ball's coming in there? It's a simple catch for Cornell, but because one of his defenders is in front of me, he's got to get his fist to it. They don't clear their lines. Then Oxford win the second ball after that, keep it alive, and all it has to do is fall to one of those yellow shirts to get another chance, and then you will hear the moans and groans yet again in this stadium.
And here comes Story. They've been kept at bay, those moans and groans, for now. Preston in the centre circle, going long up towards Dobbin, who was offside. Sam Long had won the header battle between the two of them anyway, and so Oxford with a free kick inside their 18-yard box. One apiece in this battle of two sides fighting on different fronts in the Championship. Preston having spent such a long part of this season inside the top 6, but falling away. Just 1 win in 9 in the league, now down in 11th. Oxford looking to exit the relegation zone. They can only do that with victory. That will send West Bromwich Albion in on goal difference ahead of the rest of the weekend's games, as Brannigan controls for Oxford with his back to goal, 35 yards out from the Preston byline. Back into his own half he goes. Oxford haven't been afraid to do this so far. Now to the near side right with Long. True to his name, he goes long, straight downfield, up towards Lancashire. Heavy bounce on the ball though off what looks like a rock-hard pitch, and this time it's into the hands of Cornell. I think that's the first time, Mickey, that a long ball has come forward from Oxford, and they haven't looked favourites to win it when it comes through.
Well, in saying that, Lancashire is still getting in behind the back line of Preston. Yes, there was a little bit too much pace on the long ball from Long, but Lancashire is such a willing runner and wants to try and get on the end of things. You've seen him put his hands on his head as if he was a little bit disappointed that he maybe didn't sprint a little bit harder.
There's a poor defensive header away here, and it's been picked up by Dobbin on the edge of the penalty area. Lang 35 yards out, whipped out to the right hand side now where Offia is waiting. We've seen how well he can cross, having set up the goal, trying to get a 1-2 away here with Jordan Story. It got stuck on the defender's boot, and so Brannigan able to take this away from trouble for Oxford, and with the help of Brown's clearance, which is long and upfield, Oxford will survive. They've been tested infrequently in the 26 minutes we've had on Talksport 2. If you're wanting to listen to Wolves versus Liverpool in the FA Cup 5th round, that's over on Talksport. We've got 5 live commentaries for you tomorrow across the network as Osmajic turns on the ball, and then having seen his touch overshoot his reach, he then follows through and catches Helic And Oxford's goal scorer is down, but knowing his side have a free kick. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. At 18 plus, fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability, price may vary. Well, it's a long clearance again from Cumming. Downfield looking for Peart Harris, and again Offia, who's probably been the best performer in a white shirt so far, picks it up, and a 1-2 to get him away up to the halfway line with Devine. Couldn't find the through ball though to bring in Osmajic, and that one safely back to Cumming in net, who clears this time out on the full, so it will be a Preston throw. And this game, after a very quick start, it's just starting to dip a little bit, Mickey Gray.
It has, yeah, it's petered out a little bit. I think both sides have obviously worked each other out, or you think they have. But I wouldn't stop playing those long balls. We've talked about the pitch, and it is going to churn up, and it's very difficult at times. And just seeing Preston now trying to play through the centre, that's where you don't want to give the ball away. Just at times, just play that long ball, get this back line of Oxford turned, running back towards their own goal. Because we know Osmajic has got the pace and the power and the strength to get in behind, and we certainly know that Afia has over on that right-hand side.
And it is towards Offia. This long ball comes now, and it is on that right side again. He's tangling with Curry, turns away from the intersection of penalty area and byline, tries to cross it into the middle for the 18-yard box where Lang was waiting, and the defensive touch brings it away towards halfway. Preston will come again, accompanied by a roar from three sides of Deepdale. And they've been struggling for gates this season, right down at the bottom end of the Championship gate tables, averaging 16,000. I'm not sure there's that many inside Deepdale this evening. And away fans have done their best to make noise. Preston fans without much to shout about at home so far in this calendar year, as Whiteman plays it into the attacking line. Dobbin, near side the Preston left, has to go back, retrace his steps to play towards halfway. Shout from the away fans claiming that Hughes had taken the ball out, as he controlled he hadn't. And into the centre-back ranks it goes. Forward again to Whiteman. Rolls it just at pedestrian pace for the moment into the boot of Thompson. They're not forcing anything here, Preston. It's as if, Mickey, they're looking for an idea. Oxford have just dropped off a little bit. 11 men behind the ball.
Well, if you're not breaking a side down, then you've got to try something a little bit different. I think that's what Preston are doing at the moment. They are on top in the game.
And Offia, who skipped the challenge there, won the advantage, has got them into the attacking third. Left-hand side for Lang, trying to cross deep towards the back post. Up went the header, and behind it goes for a corner. And the pressure now is on Oxford United. So behind it went. Long it was heading it behind. And on this near side, there will be an opportunity from the set play for Preston to find a lead in this game. White shirts clustering in two areas in the penalty area. A around the goalkeeper and B around the penalty spots, as we prepare for Alfie Devine, the Tottenham Hotspur loanee, to whip this one in. Goalkeeper bouncing on the balls of his feet. The referee has seen something he doesn't like though, and so Andrew Kitchen is going to come and lay down the law. He's brought in Brannigan, the captain, and along with him it's Gibson, involved in some of the pushing and shoving around the penalty spot. So a word in the ear of those two, and we await the corner once again. 1-1 in this game. Little over half an hour played. In it comes from Devine, on the right foot, in swinger, hits the first man. Poor corner. Dobbin will pick it up, corner of the area. Right foot across, flat one as well, and then a powerful header to take it behind. Lancashire it was hit so flat to the ground that there was no rise in it, and so it needed a powerful header to take it away, and it's a corner again at one apiece. 31 gone.
Well, Alfie Devine's going to get another opportunity. I see these signals that he's doing with the ball. This looks like it's going to be a fast stick, with the four Preston players in there trying to just spin round the back and maybe gun on the end of it. It has to be better than his first one. He can't hit the first man.
Yes, he's held the ball aloft and now he kicks it deep towards the back post, and that one's just as bad because it's been caught by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's poor, isn't it, Cameron? Look, set pieces are a big thing in the Championship. Look, I don't know if things are starting to peter down from the Premier League to the Championship. Look, we see long throws week in, week out, but even corners. Why is the referee going up to both sets of players and telling them to calm down? Just give the foul. Either way, give the foul, and I'm sure they won't do it again, these players, but they let them off with it every single week.
Well, I see your point, Mickey. We're 35 games into the season. If you've not learned that pushing and shoving from a corner leads to a free kick or penalty, then, well, it's high time you did learn. So I see you thinking. It's 1-1 in this game, 32 minutes gone between Preston and Oxford. It's the former who have the ball in defensive reaches with Offia. Back into the defence for Story, and passes it along to Gibson. Joining him at centre-back now, Hughes on the left side. Forward towards Dobbin, who waited for the ball to come to him, and then Long, having done so well to get in front of the North End man, almost got carried away with it and took it straight out of play. And Preston will have the ball back, so they go back into their defensive third once more. Clipped out to the right-hand side where Whiteman was asking for it in the centre circle. In the end, it's gone back into the defence once more. Gibson. Now Hughes on halfway. Whiteman standing on the ball. Saw that Lancashire was coming to close him down. So over to the right it goes for Offia again. Plenty of the ball for the young man so far. Drops it back to the centre circle. Now the long ball will come up towards Dobbin. And Long, seeing that the ball was under hit, can head it away to the halfway line. Here comes Dobbin again. Now this looks exciting. 45 yards out, picks it up, then gets his ball all wrong. Tried to slip it forward looking for Devine. He's so electric when he picks it up. Got between the lines, got the pass wrong, and now Preston are having to defend because Oxford have gone all the way downfield, and Lancashire has seen the run of Pitt Harris towards the corner flag. Those two will trade passes. Back towards halfway it goes, and Preston, having been warned at 1-1, now have the numbers back to deal with it.
Well, the big question is, why is Lewis Dobbin not taking the shot on, Cameron? He's done brilliantly to get away from his two markers. He's got himself towards the edge of the 18-yard area, and he's tried that simple pass, the extra pass, if you like. He's a goal scorer. Get your laces through it and ask questions of coming in that Oxford City goal, because that was a big chance for Preston.
Well, Oxford want a free kick here, and that would have been a big chance for them because it's Odell Offia and Will Lancashire who came together for an aerial ball. Lancashire ended up on the deck. Oxford do have it back though, and he's back up to his feet to chase the ball down to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper was always going to win it, but a poor ball out from him, picked up by Brannigan, 35 yards out, played it too fast and too quickly ahead of Mills, couldn't control. Two opportunities for Oxford there, neither of them taken to win it back, and now here come Preston over halfway, and this game is alive again. Whiteman into the challenge, stopped by the challenge of Hellick. He thought he'd done enough there to play it back off the Preston man. I thought that he might have been right. The referee and assistant have given it as a throw-in, and now we've got the goalkeeper down, and how many times have we seen this? And there are boos coming. It's Jamie Cumming who goes down, and well, we shan't speculate. There may be a very valid reason why he's gone down here, but Jamie Cumming has sunk to his haunches in the penalty area as Oxford were defending, and now both sets of players are heading over to the far side for a drink, for an information exchange, and an eclectic and buzzing point in the game. We're going to get another drawn out stoppage.
Well, look, there's no doubt about it. Preston have started to get on top in the game. They've been more confident on the ball. I think it's just that final product, getting the ball into the areas where they're going to score goals, taking shots on Lewis Dobbin. Why you're not taking that shot on is beyond me. But yeah, you've seen now that Jamie Cummins gone down to ground. I'm not quite sure if he just cleared his lines, it was a goal kick or not, because he hasn't really touched the ball over the last couple of minutes, apart from a couple of corners that went in towards that 6-yard area. But you're right, all the players going over now, the momentum from Preston stopped a little bit. They probably didn't want this stop in play, but the Oxford players have all gone across now. I think if I was Matt Bloomfield now, Cameron, I would just say to my players, look, calm down, start playing the way you started in the first 5 minutes, which is getting the ball out to the fullbacks or getting it into Donnelly in that central area, playing those diagonal balls, because they got a lot of joy from it. It was where the goal came from, and they've been on top. They've had some really good chances in the game. It actually has been a very good first half with a little bit of sloppiness at times in the game. Of course, you're going to get that because of the pitch. But they're the away side. The onus is on Preston to take the game to Oxford.
Yeah, tough playing conditions on a pitch like this. It's kicked up like a road, but it hasn't detracted from the spectacle, nor have the errors, as both sets of players are brought back out onto the field now. Cumming is back up and on his feet. And there may have been, as I say, a valid reason for him to go down. He didn't touch the ball in the few minutes before that happened. So
How does he not have to go off the pitch?
Goalkeepers don't have to go off. I can only imagine the carnage that would ensue if they did.
Goodness.
But maybe that's the way to stop this phenomenon that's starting to come into the game. So who knows? There's been a lot of talk about that in recent weeks, and so we have restarted. But Preston, who were attacking, now have a throw-in which they've had to take back into their own half, and we start again at a much lower tempo. So 37 minutes gone. 1-1 in this game at Deepdale on Talksport 2 as Preston aim with a long ball for Osmajic. Didn't get it quite right, but Kieran Brown forced to head out of play on the far side. And Preston will start again with Offia forward into the front line where Devine was waiting for it. Misangled his pass though, and Curry, it's his turn to clear over halfway. And with something of a chase from Peart Harris, it's a comfortable ball for the goalkeeper to deal with, and Cornell plays it out short to Hughes, who's getting it in the neck now from his supporters for not moving the ball quicker. He didn't have many options, and then the ball back from Thompson. Well, it went back to his goalkeeper, and Donnelly saw it straight away and raced towards the stopper, who was able to clear in time. And now a free kick from that long ball as Konak goes down in an aerial battle in the centre circle. 1-1, 38 gone between Preston and Oxford.
They're going to have to stop giving these fouls away, Preston, in silly areas, because albeit it's a long way away from their goal, but Donnelly's quality has been very, very good so far, and you can see they're trying to pack just the edge of the 18-yard area. 5 or 6 Oxford players. If they get first contact yet again, this is when everybody starts to get nervy in this stadium.
So the free kick, 50 yards out, just outside the centre circle. Whipped forward it is by Brannigan. Defensive header from Whiteman. It's going to go for a corner if Offia can't get there. He does in time, and then is challenged as he tries to clear. Ends up sending it out for a throw-in directly adjacent to the corner flag. And already we can see straight away, you're going to love this, Mickey, Miles Peart Harris coming across for his trademark long throw.
Yeah. Well, look, I think it was a fear again. You know, he's done really well, him. Kept the ball in play, didn't give the corner away. But you're right about these long throws. Peart Harris has gone across, and there's another one going in the 6-yard area.
And the nearest man is in the 6-yard area. That's how far he can fling it. 1-1, 39 gone. Oxford attacking once again. Thrown in deep towards Konak. Defensive header, though. It was Whiteman away. And Oxford, seeing the sprinting Osmajic, will go back to their goalkeeper. And Cumming takes his time before clearing past the Montenegrine into the defensive line of Preston. He'll recycle it up to Dobbin again. 1-1. Dobbin looking exciting. Oh, and as I say that, he turns. It was a lovely little flick there to take it away from Donnelly, and then he's fouled on halfway by Brannigan, who just got across him as he tried to flick it around the Oxford captain. No advantage coming, good referee, and it's a free kick on the whitewash in the centre of the park at 1-1 in this game.
Well, two things there, Cameron. Jamie Cumming looked okay when he played that long ball and started playing out from his 18-yard area, but also the ability from Dobbin was absolutely top class.
And here is Dobbin again, corner of the area. Always see him there, trying to drop his shoulder. This time, though, Peart Harris read it, and so forced back to the halfway line. Whiteman's ball gets a good flick on. Lang into the penalty area, right-hand side, crossed it into a defensive body, and out for a corner to Preston it goes. And now we're starting to see them bare their teeth. 5 minutes to go before half-time, and it's 1-1 on Talksport 2 at Deepdale.
Well, could he have played it first time? It was a big question. You know, it's great play from Preston. The build-up's very good, but when you get in behind Oxford's back line, play that ball into the 6-yard area first time. Don't take the touch. You don't need it.
Osmajic and Lang, the men in the 6-yard box. In it comes. Oh, flicked header goalwards. It was Devine who got up there. It's gone for a corner. And now nobody was expecting the ball to come to the near part of the area, and Devine peeled away, flicked it back across goal. Defensive header, I think it was going on target initially, takes it away for a corner from the other side. And now Oxford are having to defend to see this through to half-time at equilibrium. It's Dobbin receiving it short, corner of the area, bending it in as well, in towards Lang, only half cleared, now back into a thicket. Lang is trying to shoot from the 6-yard box, defender in the way. I think Konak has taken it straight in the jaw. I'm not sure how much he knew about it. It worked though, and his teammates in front of him were able to play it away, and now the goalkeeper's got some pressure on him. Stan Mills trying to block the ball out from Cornell, who turned and twisted away from him, looked composed. Preston can't get this ball away though. They're battling 30 yards from their own goal. Thompson has lost it, and now Lankshire's in, blocked by the goalkeeper. Good save, Cornell, whips it away. Oh, what a mess from Preston North End. Both sides hanging on defensively in this game. 1-1 it is. Free kick goes Preston's way on halfway. What have we just seen, Mickey Gray?
We've seen a couple of calamities. That's what we've seen. The defending yet again from Preston. Why are they trying to play out from the back when there's 3 Oxford players waiting to pounce? The referee could have actually given a foul. Fair play to him. He let play on. But Lancashire, after that reverse pass into him, his first touch just gets away from him, gives Cornell the opportunity to spread himself and make the save, but he should have scored. His first touch was better. He does score. At the other end, Ben Whiteman, I think it was, with the last opportunity for Preston. Look, it's blocked. It's brilliant defender from Oxford, but my goodness, they're all over the place, Oxford at the back. They look really nervy over the last few minutes.
That was it. Whiteman from the 18 into the area, hit about 3 men, dropped for Lang on the 6-yard box, couldn't get it past Connacht, uses his space to get it away. Then at the other end, massive chance to put that in for Lancashire. It was 1-1, tight angle, tried to squeeze it past the goalkeeper, who made himself big, did really well. And so in the 43rd minute of the game, somehow, it's still 1-1. It could be 2-1 to either side.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's funny, isn't it, Cameron? You come to certain games and you think this is going to be a tight game. We might get the odd goal. We've obviously had 2 in the first 12 minutes of the game tonight. We could have had 5 or 6. The big chances, not half chances, big chances to score goals.
And as you said, these are teams who don't score many goals. Preston, the lowest scorers in the top half of the division. They could end outside the top half at the end of the weekend if tonight doesn't go their way. Oxford have struggled for goals all season. Here comes Dobbin. Oh, crossing early, and the defence weren't ready for it. Curry stuck out a shin in the end. Lang racing after it. He's got an attacking throw in, and well, it was all a mess for a moment. And Donnelly got across to put his foot in. Out for a throw it goes, and Ophir is told to come back to where it should be taken from as the cross hits Brown, and he shanks it out for a throw in on the far side. Preston having a throw down this time. They take it from too far away from the goal line. They've been told to move it forward by 10 yards. I think there's a common misconception, isn't there, that you can take it, you can disadvantage yourself. You do have to take it from where the ball exited the field of play. That's what Ophir has been reminded. And so now, after all that, he takes a short throw in as well. What's the game coming to these days? Lang going short, and then in getting there, he's fouled the Oxford man. And so a real fracas from that throw in. Less said about that, the better. As very gingerly, I think it's Curry on the far side who's gone down for Oxford. Just got between man and ball, copped a blow. And a free kick to Oxford at 1-1 in this game. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app. From 11 a.m, 18 plus, fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability, price may vary.
Yeah, I think there was just a bit of a flaying arm there, wasn't it? And that's how Curry went to ground. He was holding on to his face.
Well, I think you're right. I thought initially it might have been the shoulder, but the way he was staying down and rubbing his jawbone, I think you might have been right there, Mickey, as Oxford have gone long with their throw-in, but have failed to keep the ball. And so Ophir, as this half winds down, takes the throw over halfway, up towards the battling Lang, who flicks it over his own head to keep it from Brannigan. Oh, and then turns away, and then is flattened by Stan Mills. That's going to be a free kick. Oxford not wanting to give the ball back, and then there's a bit of toing and froing as that ball eventually is returned to where the restart will be from. Stan Mills it was, who was just feigning as if he was going down, gets back up, laughs, and is back into position. So 3 added minutes at the end of this first half. Oxford having led early in the game through Mihal Helik, latching onto a long ball that no Preston defender seemed to want to follow, and Milutin Osmajic with a header to equalise. We are now into the last moments of the first half. Long ball for Preston into the penalty area. Heads were up, and it was Story who was nearest to it. Nobody could win it though. And so Oxford starting again from the back. Helik's ball out, picked up by Piet Harris, who's had to drop 50 yards deeper than his usual position, the winger, to try and catalyse something. The signs it's best left well alone. And Helik now goes short to Donnelly, the latest to drop back deep into the Oxford half. Brown now, left centre back, Rolls it forward to Curry, tight to the touchline. Oh, and he's lost it. That's not a good area. Whiteman's ball forward. Lang's cut it back, and Whiteman again. Edge of the 18-yard box. Lang's gone down in the penalty area. They won't be able to use him for this attack. Forward still with Thompson, who shoots from distance. Blocked by Connacht and cleared by Oxford United. Well, you asked for some long shots, Mickey Gray. You got one there. The concern is that Lang has gone down and stayed down in the Oxford penalty area.
Yeah, he's obviously struggling a little bit. It was a little give and go he tried to do, and I think he just got clipped on the ankle or the Achilles, and he's obviously feeling it. But when the ball eventually came back to Jordan Thompson, a little optimistic, I have to say, 25-30 yards out, there was bodies in front of him. He might have been better on that situation of just laying the ball forward and taking that extra pass.
Well, the referee has called a halt for the moment, so many around us, we are right in with the home fans here at Deepdale. Many have headed to the refreshment kiosks a few minutes early. We've still got at least 90 seconds of added time remaining, so we're going to be playing well beyond the 48 as a concerned-looking Milutin Osmaic wanders over to check on his stricken teammate, Callum Lang, getting treatment in the penalty area. The Oxford players, some of them have headed over to have a natter with Matt Bloomfield, as most of the Preston team stay on the field at the moment. But well, the first half, it's nearly at an end, Mickey Gray. What's your summary of what we've seen so far? Yeah,
look, I've been really impressed. I think two sides that are certainly at it, albeit at times it's been a little bit sloppy, but we touched on how many big opportunities we've had in this first half, and I think you've got two sides for different matters, I suppose. Oxford obviously trying to get every point they possibly can to get out of that bottom three. Preston still pushing for one of those playoff positions, but they're going to need to win football matches. Just quickly, Cameron, you know, we're talking about the goalkeeper coming when he went to ground. I just wonder, you know, if there could be a certain rule. I don't think in that situation, if that does happen and a goalkeeper goes to ground, players should be allowed to go across to their coaches.
Well, I've heard one suggestion, you know, and this was quite interesting, saying that like in a penalty shootout, all 10 Anfield players should have to wait in the centre circle. Maybe the other team can go off, maybe you allow that. Or, because you can't take a goalkeeper off, can you? It'd be mayhem. But you could send an outfielder off. You could say that the captain has to go off for a minute.
The reason why I was saying it was it stops that added on time, and I think it's an advantage if, you know, your team's not doing well, your goalkeeper goes down, the manager pulls all the players across to say, look, this is not working, let's change something up. Well, you wouldn't be able to do that necessarily if the game continued.
Well, we've got a problem here for Preston North End, because Callum Lang is not going to be able to continue. So I thought we might see at some point, Mickey, is happening before half-time. Daniel Jebison, the Bournemouth loanee, is going to be brought on, Canadian forward. Scored a couple of games ago against Swansea, earned him a start on the weekend, but he struggled for a run of starts, Jebison. He's on into the attack as Lang is clapped down towards the tunnel, which is in the corner on the far side at Deepdale. So unfortunately for him, it's about as far away as it's possible to be from where he went down. But as you said, Mickey, went down after a bit of a twist. It was perhaps a blow to the Achilles or to the ankle. He's off, Jebison on.
Yeah, look, it looked a little bit innocuous, to be honest with you, didn't it? But, you know, he's obviously feeling it. You know, whenever you land on your foot, if you've had a clip on your ankle, he might have landed wrong and twisted a little bit. So I think it's a shame that he's obviously had to go off just before half-time. Maybe he could have stayed on and the physios could have had a look at half-time, but he's obviously shook his head and said, no, that's it for me.
Well, you knew it was bad when his side were attacking all around him and he stayed down. He couldn't manage to stumble on and add an extra body to it, so you were fearing for him then. And he's off before half-time. We've now played 50 minutes of this first half. We were only meant to play to 48, but for obvious reasons, after that injury, we're going to be continuing. And can Oxford use that to their advantage at 1-1 in this game? Piet Harris chasing a direct ball down the field. He was just muscled off the ball there by Lewis Gibson, using his tall frame well. So out for a goal kick it goes. We won't see that goal kick though, because the half-time whistle has sounded. So Preston 1, Oxford 1 is the half-time score on Talksport 2 at Deepdale. Michal Helik, 5 minutes on the clock, putting the relegation-threatened side into the lead. But then Milutin Osmaic 7 minutes later with a well-taken header, stooping low to guide it past Cumming in net. And then after that, they sparred a bit, these two teams. It could have been either side who went into the break level. It could have been about 4-3, Mickey. It's 1-1.
Yeah. Well, many games, as you see, week in, week out, there's big opportunities, but when those chances come around, sometimes you have to capitalise on and take them. The sides at the top of the table, they're the ones who find the back of the net. But as we've seen tonight, I think Oxford had the more clear opportunities. I mean, you look on that right-hand side, Stan Mills, he's had two massive chances. Should have scored with both the opportunities, I have to say, albeit he's had a very good first half. But Ben Whiteman, we talk about the one at the edge of the 6-yard area, it's brilliantly blocked by those Oxford defenders, but that goes down as a big opportunity. Look, we've seen two decent goals. Scrappy defending for the Oxford goal. Howard's found the back of the net without any Preston player trying to clear his lines. I do not know, but it happened. But the bounce back from Preston then was brilliant. The ball in from Ophir on that right-hand side, and the header from Osmajic was absolutely outstanding as well. And I think level at the break is probably about even.
I think we're at par, really, there, aren't we? It doesn't play like 11th versus 23rd, but there you go. What does in the Championship at this time of year? So at the moment, it's worth remembering that this point doesn't do a lot for Preston. They really need to start winning some games. Just one win in 10 in all competitions. And this will leave them 7 points behind the top 6, with all those teams still to play over the weekend. Only 10 games to go. That's a massive gap. Could be into double figures by the time they play again. It's an uphill scramble now.
Well, it is. We're at crunch time, aren't we? There's part of the season where you need to win football matches.
But if you do win, if you do bring it to... And OK, it might still end up being a 7-point gap. It's the belief as well, though, isn't it? It's the momentum you start to go on.
Yeah, it is. And then, you look at Coventry and Norwich, the next two games, both away from home. How many points are they going to pick up in those games if we're talking about Preston here right now? So I think the importance is win your home games, put them to bed, and then try and pick up as many points as you can till the end of the season away from home. If they can do that, they give themselves that fighting chance. Look, nobody looked at Wrexham 7 or 8 weeks ago and thought they could climb into the playoffs. Well, they're in there on merit now, and it's up to Wrexham to try and stay there. Preston can do the same thing, but winning your home matches is key, and they've got to come out in that second half, and they have to take the game to Oxford yet again. Well,
let's see if they can manage to take the game to them in that second period. 1-1 at the break. Come back in a few minutes for more reaction and looking ahead to the second half on Talksport 2 from Deepdale.
EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Got Big McDonald's hunger? The Big Arch is here to stay. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Evening. How's your night shift going? Just a quick check-in from Acorn Insurance, the taxi specialists. We've been by your side for over 40 years, helping new drivers earn a no-claims bonus from day one and accepting up to 9 years no claims from veteran cabbies. That's why we're the largest taxi insurance specialist in the UK. Find out more at acorninsure.co.uk/taxi. Bye for now. Acorn Insurance and Financial Services Limited is authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
This week on Morrison's Market Street, our weekly specials celebrate National Butchers Week. Save a third on our juicy British sirloin steak, succulent British leg of lamb, and tender British pork loin. Cut exactly how you like it by our expert butchers. Tasty. Majority of stores excludes Morrison's Daily. Online varies. Ends 8th of March.
TNT Sports presents...
This is where it really counts.
The UEFA Round of 16.
That is magnificent.
With action from the UEFA Champions League, Europa League and Conference League.
Wow! 5-star performance.
Featuring Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, Newcastle, Spurs and more.
It's the glory night for them. The stage is set.
Live, March 10th to 12th and 17th to 19th on TNT Sports.
Hey, has your owner been looking at new Ford vans recently?
Yeah, was talking about a 26-plate Ford Transit Custom. I nearly stalled.
Tell me about it. Mine is thinking of going electric in an all-electric Ford e-Transit Courier.
I bet they're off for a test drive right now.
Sometimes it's time for something new, and your upgrade awaits at Trust Ford. With 0% APR and customer savings available, order your new 26-plate today. Visit your local Ford dealership or visit trustford.co.uk.
Visit Trust Ford now. Online on DAB Plus and on the app. This is Talksport 2.
It's a superheated Saturday of spectacular live football on the Talksport network. From 12:15, Mansfield try their luck against Arsenal in the FA Cup on Talksport, while Hull clash with Millwall in the Championship from 12:30 on Talksport 2. It's an unsurpassable Saturday of live football on Talksport and Talksport 2.
The PGA Arnold Palmer Invitational tonight from 10, live on Talksport 2.
Oh, he nearly holds the thing. He is a magician.
As the world's golfing elite go head-to-head at the Bay Hill Club and Lodge, hear full swing-by-pitch-by-putt commentary of all the action direct from Orlando, Florida.
Looks a good pace. Let's see if he's got this putt. Come on, boy. Yes, he has got it.
The PGA Arnold Palmer Invitational tonight from 10, live on Talksport 2.
We're under starters orders, and they're off. Cheltenham 2026 on Talksport.
They try to make him go to Cheltenham. He said no, no, no. McCoy said what a mad idea.
He all means Alan was out late.
Ray said,
Al, it's just one beer. Join me, Alan Brazil, for a special reduced excess Cheltenham Festival breakfast. Starts Monday morning from 6 o'clock and continues throughout the week on Talksport.
So is Buck, he won't get paid.
It's not about just betting horses. Or...
This year, maybe he'll be here.
They tried to make me go to Cheltenham. I said no, no, no.
Join the Football Collective.
The cool, clinical finish.
EFL Live on Talksport 2.
Two sides who struggle to find the net, and they're struggling at opposite ends of the Championship table at the moment. Long it goes into the penalty area. Oh, this could be a chance here. Oh, it's in. Michal Helik has scored for Oxford.
Where are the Preston defenders wrapping around to try and clear the lines to keep that ball out of the goal, Cameron? It's brilliant from Oxford, but it's a horrible start from Preston.
This time out to the right-hand side for Offia. Crossed in towards the penalty area. Osmajic 1-1. Milutin Osmajic with the goal.
You want a reaction, that is the reaction that you want from Preston North End. Play to your strengths.
And it's Preston North End 1, Oxford United 1. Level in this game then, Preston pushing away to try and make up for the ground they've lost as they trail behind the top six, looking to rise into 8th position with a win tonight. But it was a terrible start. Michal Helik giving Oxford the lead. They know that a win will take them out of the bottom three, at least overnight. Osmajic's equaliser after 12 minutes has left us where we are, 1-1 in this game. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability, price may vary. Now, the live championship action continues tomorrow afternoon here on Talksport 2 with a cracking doubleheader. From 3 p.m, promotion pushes Ipswich host relegation-threatened Leicester City. But in our opening game of the day, it's a game with huge playoff implications as Millwall travel to Hull. 5th takes on 3rd, and Millwall could put some serious pressure on the top two with a win tomorrow. Our very own Ian Abrahams sat down with Lions boss Alex Neil earlier this week to get his thoughts.
I think all the games are going to be big games between now and the end of the season. You know, they all grow in sort of importance due to the fact that obviously we're running out of games as we get further into the season. So I don't think we've ever played the games down as far as the importance is concerned, you know, for the points. But equally, we're not going to win or lose anything in this one game, but it's a good opportunity for us to try and continue a really good away form. I think we've won the last 3 in the bounce, but we're coming up against a really strong opponent as well, so it should be a good game.
Be it top or bottom, and obviously you're looking to get promoted, the ultimate. Managers always say this time of year every game's like a cup final. Just explain that for us.
I think just like I said there, I think it's just due to the importance of the game and the fact that you're running out of them. You know, so especially where we are on the table, because we're close to each other, it's equivalent to, people call it a 6-pointer, if you like, in the fact that we can add 3 and take 3 away for their total. So, it's just, we're going to have loads of these between now and the end of the season, so I'm quite relaxed about it. Like I say, I think if we've got 2 or 3 games left, it's sort of do or die. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't retrieve the points. Whereas I still think there's plenty of games left in the season at the moment, but it's a really important match for both teams.
I'm guessing right now, the one thing you don't have to do is motivate your players. I guess they all know how important every game is, and the one thing you're not going to worry about is effort.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever worried about effort. I think that you just need to be careful you don't build it up too much or you don't undersell it too much. I mean, I think in that sweet spot it's really important in the fact that we understand the importance of the game, but our determination, our focus is right where you want it to land. You know what I mean? I think that's the bit from my perspective. I need to make sure the players land in that bit where they feel really confident, but they understand how important it is, not just for them, but for everybody connected with the club. Is there a danger they might get carried away with the expectation of the fans? Because nearly every Millwall fan I speak to right now tells me this is it. This is the season we're going to get into the Premier League. I think we've got over that hump. I would have probably said before the Portsmouth game that was something I spoke about quite openly, and the fact that it felt going into every game, and it probably started at Sheffield Wednesday. Then it certainly led into Wrexham, but it felt as if every game was the last game and we needed to do it, and I don't think that's how we should approach it. Do you know what I mean? I think that if you want to be a team that's going to be competing at the top end of a division, you're going to have to come across these games on a regular basis. So we just needed to get over that little sort of, I don't even know how to describe it, but just that mentality of we need to win and sort of restricting yourself, if you like. And I feel we've come through that now. I think the last couple of games have been really good in that sense, and yeah, we just need to stay on the path we're on. If I look at the managers in the top 6 right now, yes, Phil Parkinson has lots of experience on promotion. He's got 3 of them back to back. Obviously, Kieran McKenna's been promoted to the Premier League as well, but so have you. No one else has. Is that going to be a big factor going into this game at Hull and then the rest of the season? The fact that you know what this is like, you know what this looks like, feels like, and almost how it needs to pan out. Not necessarily. No, I don't think. I don't think the next remaining 11 games will be swayed by the fact that I've got experience or Kieran's got experience or whatever. I think from controlling your own group's concern and managing expectations and managing how we approach the games, I think that experience will sort of help us to a certain extent, but I don't think it's going to have a huge bearing on what the remaining 11 games are going to be and where you're going to finish in the table.
So that's Alex Neil, Millwall boss, ahead of what's going to be a huge game tomorrow lunchtime in the Championship. Talksport 2 exclusive. John Dunn and the former Wolves goalkeeper Matt Murray on commentary. Hull City versus Millwall. Packed so tightly together. It's a massive opportunity, isn't it, really, Millwall this season, Mickey Gray? It's been a long time since you've seen them dying at the top table. This has got to be the time now. The form that they put in, okay, I know that they're battling with Ipswich and those two have been vying for that title of best of the rest. Middlesbrough holding that second spot at the moment, but, I mean, who would write them off at this time?
Well, 5 wins in your last 8 games will get the job done. Alex Neil's done really, really well to get Millwall where they are, and it's all about momentum. People say it every single season in the Championship. How you finish that season gives you that momentum, and if you're in those playoffs with momentum, you give yourself a heck of a chance.
Well, it's all about momentum, isn't it? And all the talk this week has been about the playoffs too. That's what everybody has been focusing on, because Championship clubs have voted for the playoffs from next season to extend to 6 teams, not 4 teams. Millwall will hope they're not around to see that. But we talked a little bit about it before the game, didn't we, Mickey, as the players now come back out onto the field. But questions have been raised about sporting integrity, about balancing the fan experience with what should be happening. And what's your take on things? You've not been too impressed from what I've heard you've been saying.
Well, look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the playoffs have worked. Whether you love them or you hate them, the end of the season is so exciting. It's one of the most watched divisions in world football. But it's going to go down to 8 now. I'm still not quite comfortable with 24-point gap if it's 3rd to 8. So, yeah, look, it might work, it might be exciting, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Well, that's what a lot of people have been saying, isn't it? It isn't broken, okay, then maybe you'll complain if you're a third place side and you lose out, but at the end of the day, it's what we all tune in for. It extends the season, and I can see why people are having problems with this. Oxford are making a change, by the way. Brodie Spencer is going to be brought on for Jack Curry for this second half, so a fullback for a fullback. Spencer has missed the last two with an ankle injury. He had an injection on it this week, though. Injuries have affected him all the way through the season, the Northern Ireland man, but he's back in, and we're ready to start this game again. It's 1-1 on Talksport 2 between Preston and Oxford United. Preston pushing to try and gain ground on the top six. They've fallen right away on this poor run of form. Oxford looking for back-to-back wins. That will take them out of the bottom three overnight at least. It's Oxford who get us back underway again, going straight back to Cumming in his green shirt. Clears long over halfway and picked up quickly actually by Peart Harris, who tried to stumble out to the right-hand side and then was stopped by Andrew Hughes. And it's back into the midfield once again for Oxford, who started brightly in that first stop. And they start with Stan Mills down this near side left. They're kicking from right to left as we look at it in this second period. Mills thought he'd kept the ball alive there and then tried to flick it off the defender. He thought he had and won a corner. Offia played the innocent there, put his hands up, and out for a goal kick it goes. So just that one change for Oxford. Spencer on for Curry. Preston unchanged, having made that late switch for Jebison on for the injured Lang at the end of the first half. It's Jebison who keeps the ball in play from a long ball. Can't find a teammate though. I'll run you through the teams very quickly. It's Cornell in goal for North End. Offia, Story, Gibson and Hughes in the back four, behind Whiteman, Devine and Thompson, Dobbin, Jebison and Osmajic, the goal scorer in the attack, as Thompson is fouled on the edge of his own box. As for Oxford, Cumming in goal, Long, Hellick their goal scorer, Brown and Spencer in the back four, behind Connacht and Brannigan, Donnelly, Mills, Peart Harris, the front three behind Lancashire, who leads the line. Mickey Gray, your thoughts as we enter a second half? If it's anything like the first, we'll be well entertained, as in fact Preston come forward here. Jebison down the right hand side, trying to get his cross away, saw the slide tackle come in. It was well timed from Brodie Spencer, and out for the first corner of the second period.
Well, it has been a positive start from both sides, hasn't it? Another change for Oxford is you can see that Stan Mills has come over to this left hand side. Whether he switches again when he gets the opportunity, we'll wait and see, but he maybe caused Offia a few problems down this left hand side. But also nice there for Jebison, picking the ball up, being direct, trying to get the ball in the area.
So Whiteman with the corner, near side the Preston right, whipping it in towards the penalty spot, header away by Spencer, a brave one as well. It was followed through into by the Preston man. I think it was Devine who was in there. Picked up on the edge of the 18-yard box, crosses deep to the back post, and white shirts go after it. Oh, it was hung up nicely by Devine there. Referee said it came off an attacking play, alas. 1, 2, 3 Preston men queuing up on the edge of the 6-yard box. Osmajic is deadly with his header. He couldn't get onto it though, and out for a goal kick at 1-1.
Yeah, Offia got very fortunate because he tried to play a looping ball into the area and kind of slipped as he played it. But it did fall to Devine, and put a lovely ball to the back post there. But I think Osmajic was just the wrong side of his marker, and he got a little bit of a toe end on it. But he just needed to make better contact. Well, I like the positivity of Preston.
1-1 in this game, 48 minutes gone. Scrapping forward is Hellick along with Osmajic. Those two will see the ball cannon off them towards halfway and out for an Oxford throw. As Liverpool have taken the lead over on Talksport. Andy Robertson with a goal away at Wolves. So 1-0 to Liverpool at Molineux. You can hear that on Talksport in full with Jim Proudfoot and Charlie Adam. If it's anything like what the game we saw between them in midweek, it'll be a cracker. And this one has been, well, not boiling, but simmering. And it remains at 1-1 early in the second half in the Championship, as forward down the left comes Mills, tried to get a cross in up against the defender who did really well there, Odell Offia. Sent it out for a corner though, and that has excited the Oxford fans, who with their yellow and blue scarves are away to our left in the block tightest to the corner flag. It's very mean whoever's allocated those seats with 6 blocks to use in that end, and they put them right in the corner away from the goal. But they will toast their side as they come forward and take this corner. It will be whipping it in Jamie Donnelly, the Spurs loanee. joined up with Will Lancashire in his January move. Spent the first half of the season at Stoke before recalled by Tottenham, and he'll play this one short into the penalty area. With his back to goal was Mills, fed it out towards the edge of the attacking third. Oxford still have it, but they've had to go back to the centre circle. Spencer forward. Now Mills, who impressed in the first half. On the right boot, gets a good cross in as well. Forced the defensive header away. Jefferson it was who got his head on it. Right back from attack. And out for a throw to Oxford. Near side there left. 1-1. 50 minutes gone on Talksport 2.
Well, the two best players are battling it out in this second half, aren't they? And what we saw in the first half, Mills putting the ball in the area now, but it gets cleared. But a fear, certainly Preston's best player, offensively and defensively. But it's such an open game, and you're just waiting for that bit of quality. I think we're going to get a handball here from Donnelly, who was certainly lively in that first half, but he has to be careful now.
Well, Donnelly with his arm, his bicep to control that ball against Whiteman, and all the Preston fans around us made sure that we noticed it as they tried to notify the referee too. So 1-1 in this game, 50 minutes gone. Preston not really done any favours in their bid to try and clamber back up the table. Oxford really covered a win to take them out of the bottom three, but there's no sniffing at a point on the road against the side in the top half of the table as Hellick holds off Jefferson and for a throw-in to Oxford, level with the edge of their own penalty area.
Just touching on, Cameron, you were talking about Preston and how they're going to get themselves into those playoff positions. I think it's 6 points in the last 6 games, and one of those was a win. So they've drawn a lot of games, and yes, they've lost football matches, but that's not going to get the job done. You know, they need to win football matches, and with some big fixtures coming up over the next couple of weeks, the task is getting harder and harder, certainly if they don't win tonight.
Well, they've had terrible form at Deepdale as well, Mickey. Lost 4 times on this ground in 2026. The pitch has been a source of much consternation for Paul Heckingbottom. It's really worn and tired in places as Preston play up towards the corner flag. Far side there left. Shouts of free kick, and they are heeded by the referee there. Andrew Hughes, I think it was, who made it up the line and tried to spin and get a cross away, was clocked by Sam Long, and so a corner about 5 yards in from the touchline. In fact, it was Devine who was fouled, and he's going to be the man to feed in this free kick. So far side the Preston left, 2 men in the wall for Oxford. 1 apiece it is at Deepdale, and Devine with his arms in the air signalled to his teammates, all the while coming. He stood at his near post trying to marshal those in yellow in front of him. Big chance here on the set play. No goals yet in this second half. 7 minutes old, and it is the young Tottenham man to stand over it. Attacking shirts lined up on the edge of the 6-yard box. Devine again raising that right hand, waiting for the cue from the referee, who's taking his time here. Now we get the whistle from Andrew Kitchen. It's played in along the ground, trying for a 1-2 here. Oh, it doesn't come off. Dobbins trying to seize on the ball in the 18-yard box. Bit of a training ground move there. Oxford wise to it. And now Pete Harris is stopped from getting away on halfway. Wins a throw-in, wanted a free kick as Jordan Thompson raced to keep up with him. Came up with a slide tackle. Untidy but fair. A throw-in to Oxford at 1-1.
Yeah, the set pieces that are set up and the set pieces that are not. And on this occasion, it just wasn't on to play a simple short ball. Put the pressure on those Oxford defenders and ask the question, do you want to clear your lines? That was a let-off from the whole side.
Well, here come the away side. Attacking with Mills. Near side there left. Into the attacking third. Gets a ground crossing. Oh, and Lewis Gibson was a tangle of legs there. He gets it behind for a corner. He was on the corner of his 6-yard box. It looked as if he went to play it with his right foot. It came off his left ankle. And then out, could have gone anywhere, goes tamely behind for a corner. So Oxford supporters singing again, many of them on their feet. Estimate around about 400 of them. Nearly 200 miles each way. It's a big trip on a night. And will they be celebrating again here? 1-1. They led early in the first half. Can they find a lead again early in the second? There's nobody in the middle of the penalty area as this ball comes in. Everyone was in a big ring around the box. In the end, it hit the first defender. It didn't matter anyway. And Donnelly will have to start again. Long into the 18-yard box. Trying to control it was Brown, but he was unsighted. Couldn't hold it. So here's Konak for Oxford. Far side there right. Cross in from deep, but when Hellick, who tried to get his head on it, it drops to Mills. Oh, everybody left it and it's in. And Oxford have the lead again, and it's Stan Mills. Well, I think Lancashire's going to claim this. I think he's got a little flick on this in the penalty area, because they've gone straight over to Will Lancashire, who's practically in the front row of the stand, celebrating. Oxford fans singing away to our left. They lead by 2-1, and it's the side battling against relegation who have the advantage against a team in the top half once again, but a team in the top half all at sea. Preston North End, 2-1 Oxford lead.
Well, Oxford got a second bite of the cherry, because the first ball into the area should have been cleared better from those Preston defenders. As it's worked over to the right hand side, the ball comes back into the area, it's cleared to the edge of the box, and as we mentioned before, Stan Mills, who's been Oxford's best player, he's in the right place. His contact with a volley, trying to keep it low into the bottom corner, looked like it was creeping in from his shot, but you're right, it's Will Lancashire who just gets the slightest little nick, and it pokes it into the bottom corner. He's the one who runs to the corner flag celebrating, but they don't care who scored. It's Oxford back in the lead.
It certainly is, and that could be the route to a massive 3 points for a side trying to get out of the bottom three in the Championship. But look at Preston, all their hopes of promotion that looked so good at the halfway point, going up in flames at Deepdale now. Could be a double-digit point difference to the top six by the end of the weekend. Scrapping to get out of their own half. They'll win a free kick here with Jordan Thompson. But you're right, Mickey, it was the deftest of touches. It dropped on the edge of the box. Mills hit it, might have been going in of its own accord. It takes the slightest deflection. It's just a little nick to change the path of the ball. Nobody reacted to it. And then Preston were all looking at each other. They come forward with a cross on the right-hand side that the goalkeeper left. Oh, that went all the way along the 6-yard box, and Sam Long was there to clear it away. I think Cumming reckoned his defenders were getting it. Nobody seized on it. Nobody in the white shirt of Preston either. And that would have been a chance to level it at 2-2 once again. What a game we're seeing in front of us.
Right, it's just end-to-end, isn't it? I think it's Jebison eventually who puts the ball into the area. But I think with Jebison, he's put two nice balls into the box. He looks lively since he's came onto the pitch, but the size and the physical presence of him, you want him in the 6-yard box. You want him getting on the end of the crosses. He's running into those angles, certainly on this right-hand side, and he's put some decent balls into the box, but get your striker in between those lines of the 18-yard box, because they need it now. They need to get back on level terms.
Well, they're having to do it again. It took 7 minutes to get themselves back on terms in the first half. Do Preston have it within them to do it once again? Struggled as this season has worn on, particularly at home, and Oxford now are really putting the squeeze on them. They didn't learn from their mistakes in the first half, as Piet Harris sends it back towards halfway, and it's cleared high by Connacht, too high for any of his teammates, and out for a throw-in to Preston. Halfway inside their own half. 2-1 they trail. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary. As Preston start right from the back. All the singing has been done away to our left by the travelling horde. And to right as well. They lead by 2-1 against the side into recently. Very much a promotion contender. It's Preston's 11th season in the Championship in a row since that promotion from League One, and they haven't made the playoffs once in that time. Is that going to be the story again? It's going to be a long way back. Not mathematically impossible, but it'll take a lot of optimism to see them doing it if they get anything less than a win today, as the ball goes all the way downfield to Cumming, and the Oxford stopper grateful to hold it in gloved hands. Spencer clearing towards halfway for Donnelly. Back to Brannigan, playing neat passing triangles now. The levity of a lead for Oxford as Mills on halfway feeds it down the line. Piet Harris now, left side of the attacking third, running at the defender and beating the defender Gibson and shooting for goal, and it's palm behind. Double-handed save by Di Cornell. It was swinging towards his top right-hand corner. You would say the goalkeeper was favourite, had to make doubly sure though, and out for a corner it goes, and Oxford really in the ascendancy now.
Well, talk about a stadium that could turn toxic, Cameron. We're in one now with these Preston supporters because their side are just making mistakes and they're not happy with what they're seeing right in front of us now. I mean, Piet Harris just got his shot away there. It's easy for him to work it onto his right foot. Can the goalkeeper do better? Can Cornell maybe just parry that down and maybe pick it up on a second touch? Not sure that was a very good save.
Brannigan's gone short from the corner. And, he got the ball straight back there from Jamie Donnelly, and by that time, Osmajic, who's a large figure, was looming right in front of him. He plays it out of his shin, and it's back where we started for a corner again. So an hour, just about an hour gone on Talksport 2. Preston 1, Oxford 2, as Barrow lead Cheltenham by the same scoreline in League 2. Liverpool 2-0 up against Wolves over on Talksport. This time the corner went short again, with the same result, but out for a throw-in, as it's deflected by Osmajic. Not sure on the wisdom of that, Mickey. We saw that the short corner didn't work the first time. They tried exactly the same move again.
I think their corners have been very poor in the second half. Twice they've hit the first man. The two you just mentioned there before, 5 or 6 minutes ago, they had a corner and tried to fizz one along the ground towards a 6-yard area. There's no Oxford player there to collect it. It needs to improve. We know how important set pieces are in the Championship.
Well, they scored 2 of them on the weekend. Here it comes from Pearce-Harris all the way through to the back post. Oh, it's 3-1. They've got another. Kieran Brown it is. Long throw to the back post, and Preston are all throwing their arms up. The Inquisition has begun. But there is the light, unbridled the light in the away, and it came the way of Kieran Brown. He was all on his own, left just to tap it past the goalkeeper, who hadn't got to the aerial ball. And Di Cornell has come out of his penalty area to remonstrate with his Preston outfielders. They are all over the place, and Oxford United have a third goal at Deepdale.
Well, it's fantastic from an Oxford perspective. You know, we know how important long throws are. Listen to those boos. But the long throw is not dealt with by those Preston defenders. And Brown, he just leans his left foot around his marker, pokes it towards goal. He basically gives Cornell no chance because he's so close to him. But he wants it more than his marker. The desire from the away side is higher than what the Preston players are. And listen to those boos. This is a bad night for Preston. This is a bad night for Paul Heckingbottom.
Oh, it's a nasty atmosphere. They've made a change, Preston. Andrija Vukcevic has come on, the Montenegrin left back. So into the defence he goes. He's gone straight over, Mickey, to left back. Lewis Gibson was the man to go off. So I imagine Andrew Hughes now will come into his natural centre-back role. But 3-1 down, and it feels like a chasm, this gap opening up. Boos ringing out around Deepdale after that goal. I saw a couple of people leaving as well. Might just be to the refreshment kiosks, but from what they've seen this year, I don't know if you can blame Preston North End fans for leaving, with the playoffs seemingly miles and miles away. 3-1 they trail at home against a side in the bottom three. Kieran Brown's goal, long throw used well, and Preston have it all to do. Jefferson is, well, he's a striker. He's dropped all the way back to right back position now, but he's run it over halfway. Brannigan chasing him, as North End desperately needs something in this game, a foothold of any kind. It was an even first half. There's nothing even about this second period now, as Hughes brings in Andrija Vukcevic for his first touch. Orange boots, tall left back, plays it back into the heart of his defence. Story for Preston, stands with his right foot on the ball. Now, as the chorus from the Oxford end rings down the ground, here come Preston. Out to the left-hand side it goes. Vukcevic thinks about a cross. Might have to head away from goal, though. Down to the byline he goes. Too close to the goalkeeper, is it? Gets a punch in. Oxford get it clear with Connacht. First time they've looked stretched in this second half, to my recollection. And Preston will have to start again at 3-1 down.
Yeah, I'd see sides in the Championship, and when they go a couple of goals behind, you wonder, and you have a look at who's out there, and you think, have you got what it takes to claw back, even just get one goal? They might do that, but the pressure's on them right now, and every single touch is just going to be there with jeers and boos from these Preston supporters, because they are so frustrated with their side right now. This is a game they've came into, and they should be thinking, we need to win this, we've got to win this game. Where's that fight? It's not quite there.
Well, they're going to need to scrap for every ball now. They've got a throw in to be taken by Vukcevic, 10 yards from the corner flag. Played in short to Osmajic. His goal feels a long time ago. It was 1-1 then, as Pearce-Harris gets between Vukcevic and the ball and is fouled level with the edge of his own penalty area. What a situation for Preston. Looked like it might just be their year, that they at least got themselves in the mix, but more tough questions for Paul Heckingbottom and his side to answer. 10 games to go after this one. And the last 10 in all competitions have brought about just one victory. A damning statistic.
Well, Cameron, if we do go into next season, and we're talking about the playoffs very briefly now, Preston are going to find themselves this season in a predicament where they've got 6 or 7 games left and they've got absolutely nothing to play for. They're not going to get in the playoffs. They can't get relegated. Maybe this is one of the reasons why they're bringing that rule in.
Well, maybe to add some jeopardy for more teams in that middle belt of the Championship. If there's ever a league that needs more jeopardy, I don't think it's the Championship, but there's a free kick for Preston North End as Dobbin is fouled on the fringes of the centre circle. They are 3-1 down at home to Oxford United. Cameron Pope and Mickey Gray, your Talksport 2 commentary team. Over on Talksport, we've got Wolves 0, Liverpool 2 in the 5th round of the FA Cup. That's got 20 minutes to go. In it comes into the penalty area. Header one, Story went up for it, and then on the penalty spots, Andrew Hughes rising highest. Only glanced at the header though, and couldn't bring it on target, and it skims away for a goal kick. More intent from Preston, but without the substance.
Yeah, completely right. That's it. Long balls, hopeful balls, if you like. Wondering whether one of these teammates are going to get on the end of it. You're looking for that second phase, and on this occasion, Hughes, I think he had half a chance of maybe making contact with that header, but how much does he want it? These Preston players have got to dig deep. They've got to just try and cut out the noise and play what they do in training every single day. I'm sure they're all confident in training. Well, that's the way they've got to play right now.
Oh, they've given it away again. It's off here with his header. It wasn't a good one. Brannigan shooting and saved by the goalkeeper. He hit it from 25 yards out, and then Cornell had to go low and just stretch out a hand to keep it at bay, because Lancashire was preying on any slipped ball. It was on target. Lancashire trying to poach that ball off the keeper, and it was seen early and dealt with by Cornell. So no further slip-ups as we approach the final quarter of this game. 66 on the clock, and the scoreboard reads Preston 1, Oxford 3 at the moment.
Well, you talk about the difference in confidence, and Brannigan taking that shot on with his left foot there, but who's there waiting for any mistakes? Will Lancashire? Yes, the goalkeeper Cornell's done very well, but Lancashire's just waiting for that little nick, and he's got a 6 or 7 yard pop in if he wants to get his second goal of the game, and that's what he's all about, a striker who just waits for little opportunities.
Well, that's what he did for the first goal. Stan Mills with a shot, sticks out a boot, just diverts the path of the ball a little bit, and then that's the second goal. Been another one since then. Kieran Brown flicking home from a long throw that wasn't dealt with by the Preston defence. They've not dealt with much, truth be told. And I'm just looking around at the supporters, Mickey, around us in this main stand, and there are so many pairs of arms folded, fed up faces. They've seen this episode before. Preston in the Championship. It's all coming to pieces for the running, and they are 3-1 down at home against the side languishing second bottom of the table, but perhaps no longer. They will be heading out of the bottom 3. Huge boost incoming for Matt Bloomfield's side. Back-to-back wins it would be. They have defended to do though. Whiteman 35 yards out, in towards Jefferson in the 18-yard box, and Dobbin tried to get a shot away when he was played in. Defence was strong though, and Brodie Spencer stuck to him like glue as he worked his way around the back and shepherded the ball back to his goalkeeper Cumming. 3-1 Oxford lead.
Well, it's better, wasn't it, from Preston? The build-up play was confident. The ball in towards the edge of the 18-yard area. The little through ball there for Dobbin. Maybe just needed to be a little bit stronger to try and shove his marker out of the way. But that's better. There was applause there from the Preston supporters, who have stuck around, Cameron. Yes, there has been a lot of them who've walked out of the door, but I have to say, there's still quite a lot here, hoping that they can try and get themselves back into this game. Just giving them that energy, that 12th man if you can.
Well, the 11 that they've got have a throw-in halfway inside the Oxford half, taken by Vucevic and given away. And it's another set play that Preston have got wrong as Lancashire goes over the ball, because he's bundled over the ball, and it will be a free kick conceded there by Andrew Hughes, halfway inside the Oxford half. And Oxford, leading 3-1, are in no rush to get this ball restarted. In fact, they're going to call on the services of their goalkeeper, and Cumming is walking out to where the 40-yard mark would be. It looks like a pitch that rugby has played on. It's pitted, it's potholed, but it hasn't been affecting the away sides who've come here in 2026 so far, and it certainly hasn't affected Oxford United, who had an incredibly low share of the ball in that first half. 29% did we see, Mickey? Yeah. And there's trouble when a side with so little of the ball is being allowed to develop play so well. Here comes Mills for Oxford, level with the edge of the penalty area. Support from his captain. Brannigan will take it on the left boot, switch it to the right. Now he's trying to turn away from Thompson. Doesn't succeed in that mission. They're still battling, but he's coming further and further away from goal. Oxford fans enjoying the turns and switches, though. Now across from Mills Wall. It ended up very near to the front post, but out of play as Cornell followed it and saw that it was a goal kick. We're going to see a change for the away side. Will Lancashire is going to be replaced, and Nick Prelitz is going to come on, having just been signed as a full-time Oxford man. Had a loan deal from Cagliari. Club took an option on him. But you've been impressed, Mickey, by Will Lancashire. Got his goal for the second to re-establish the lead, and he heads off now with big games incoming.
Yeah, I have been really impressed. He's the kind of striker I think you'd like in your team every single week, because he runs and hits every blade of grass. He's tenacious, and he's a poacher. He just looks for those opportunities. Look, he won't care if it's the best looking goal in the world. It's on the score sheet to get his 8th goal or 8th league goal of the season. And he had opportunities to add to his goal tally tonight as well. And he's put in a really good performance tonight. He really has.
Well, Tottenham fans need all the positivity they can get at the moment. There's one who wears 27. He plays for Oxford on loan. Will Lancashire, Oxford's top scorer. He's done it again tonight. And he's been given a rest to get ahead of a big game against Blackburn at home on Wednesday, as Preston come forward with Vucevic. Good cross. The goalkeeper had to come a long way for it to beat Osmajic. Flying through the air. Does take it well, though, coming. Good play from both. And with his side 3-1 up, he bowls it out short to Sam Long. Over halfway. Simple ball for Hughes at left centre-back to take down, but given away, though. Poor one. And here comes Peart Harris through the middle, trying to get towards goal, and was trapped all the way by Vucevic, who wasn't allowing him to get nearer than 20 yards. And away towards Dobbin on halfway. Preston 3-1 down at Deepdale. Offia, near side the Preston right. Tips it in towards Thompson, who's bending one towards the back post. Out towards Jebison in the 18-yard box. Couldn't get a strike away, though. Couldn't control the ball properly. And Oxford have only managed the half clearance. Is this the resurgence beginning? 18 and a half minutes to go. 2-goal deficit to close down as Dobbin comes from deep but runs into Konak, who happily trots the ball back towards his touchline, and Oxford will clear long. Okay, we've seen a bit more from Preston now, Mickey Gray, but Oxford, to their credit, they're not flapping, and for a side who've struggled to defend their own goal this season, they're not being asked the most difficult questions yet.
No, they're not. All you have to do is have a look at Preston and how many goals, or the lack of goals that they've got this season, and they concede as well, which we've seen tonight. And look, I think of the managers, Matt Bloomfield, be just looking now thinking, I don't care if this game gets ugly, as long as my defenders head it, kick it and keep it away from our goal as much as you can.
Well, here it comes, though. Vucevic crossing for Preston deep towards the back post where Dobbin was waiting for it. It was Spencer who flicked it away with his head, and so Preston will have to come again. On halfway they are, with Story and Hughes sharing possession. Two centre-backs are urged to get this ball forward by Preston supporters. I can see arms waving in the direction of the Oxford goal and the main stand down below us. Here comes Thompson, 35 yards out, gets a bit of a shove from Konak, sends it back towards halfway. Second time he does get the ball into the front line using Jebison. Oh, a nice little 1-2 and a shot from 35 yards. Sent straight over the bar, though. Good little bit of play there by Alfie Devine. Engineered the 1-2, and you could see him peeling away. He's outside the 18-yard box by a good distance, hits it on the right boot, but it was always rising and away from Cummings' goal. As there's going to be a stoppage here. Brannigan is down for Oxford. The trainers are on. There are a few boos from the Preston home fans, and the scoreline remains after 73 minutes. Preston 1, Oxford 3. You're listening to EFL Live on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. Order delivery on the McDonald's app from 11 a.m. 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders, subject to availability. Price may vary.
I think it kind of summed up Preston's night tonight, didn't it? Alfie Devine's little run there, the mazy run, the couple of given goals, but then the end product, the shot, no, just didn't compose himself at all. He had time just to maybe even place it into the bottom corner, but it was a little bit rushed, a little bit panicky. And now they get that respite as both sets of players go across to their coaches yet again. But Brannigan's probably picked up that injury in front of where we were, Cameron. He did about 5 Cruyff chops, I think. And maybe he's just got a little bit of a knock on his knee or his hamstring or something like that. But he's been good tonight. I really have to say that the Oxford captain, very tenacious in that midfield area, come up with goods as well. His quality's been very good, but when he's needed to win the ball for his team and just calm things down, he's done it very well.
Do you know, Mick, I can't really keep up with what the skills and the tricks are called these days and what they're all whipping out, but Cruyff Chop, I'm glad that's still there in the football vernacular. One exponent of it, leaving the field for the moment, Brannigan, takes his place on the halfway line, awaiting the chance to be allowed back on. He is going to come back on, as the referee tells Jamie Cumming to proceed with his goal kick. Oxford 3-1 up. Heading towards the final quarter of an hour of this game. We've had a few stoppages, 2 goals this side of half-time, so I'd imagine there'll be a healthy chunk of added time. Only really helps Preston if they can get themselves back within 1 as Offia rides the challenge over halfway, forward towards Dobbin, who's stopped by Brodie Spencer. He's impressed since he's come on, and he gets towards the corner flag defender with a foot on ball and is now just holding off Lewis Dobbin, who needs help. Jebison comes across, bundles into the Northern Ireland international, who is still holding the ball, and after all that, backheels it off Jebison's shins. That is a lesson in how to defend the corner flag, and it's out for a throw-in to Oxford United.
Yeah, very good, Brodie Spencer. Look, it wasn't pretty on the eye, was it? But you don't need to be when you're a defender. Just hold on to that ball, shield it, try and win your side a cheeky little throw-in or a cheeky free kick. Exactly what he's done.
Give me that over a piece of skill all day. Industrial defending. And he did it very well. Oxford leading 3-1. 76th minute of the game on Talksport 2. This is EFL Live. Plenty of drama in this game so far. Whiteman trying to play through the lines. Oxford too wise to it though. And picked up by Spencer inside his penalty area. Got that ball away wrong though. And the throw-in to be taken by Odell Offia. And it's only about 10 yards from the corner flag. He's had to wait though for Andrew Hughes to come up and support. And so back away from goal it goes. Every Preston player is within 30 yards of goal. Whipped in by Whiteman into a cluster of bodies. Story was in there. Only towards the defender though, and Kieran Brown, who slipped as he cleared it, sends it out for a corner. And already we can see the white shirts taking shape in the middle. Osmajic is right on the goalkeeper. Jebison is in below the shadow of the crossbar too. Preston with 2 goals to make up in this game. Swung towards the front post. Defensive header. Picked up by Dobbin, 18-yard box. Couldn't do much though with his header. And Brown clearing that away. And Preston will have to chase all the way back to their goalkeeper. Still no nearer to getting back near parity. They'll try route 1. That one's gone straight to Brown as well. He heads it away. Thompson lost his battle in the centre circle with Connacht, who, having won that ball, goes down with what you would assume will be cramp by the way he's stretching out his leg. The referee has paused play, and the trainer is called on to more boos from Preston fans.
Yeah, I don't like saying this, Cameron, but you just wonder whether these Preston supporters are waiting for the full-time whistle to have their little rant, I suppose, with a big boo at the end of the game. And it would be towards Paul Heckingbottom, which is unfortunate. You know, I don't really like seeing or hearing boos, but you can understand it at times. When your side's been there or thereabouts in those playoff positions, you start slipping down and the season kind of petering out a little bit. Certainly is doing tonight, there's no question of that. You just wonder where this club's going moving forward. Now, 10 games left, and as I mentioned before, the last 6 or 7 games could be meaningless.
Well, it's hard to see a way now for Preston. Indeed, set to take no points from this game. It's hard to see a conceivable way of them turning this season around, one with so much promise, as we're still waiting for Connacht to be helped to his feet. It's interesting what different sports and their attitude to the cramp, Mick. You know, I thought there, when he's going down and offering his leg out to a teammate to stretch it. Now, just take the example. Let's take tennis, for example. And if you're cramping, that's seen as a failure on your part to condition your body correctly. Okay. But it's interesting in football that play should be stopped for that, because the ball hadn't gone out, and yet the referee still brought play to a stop. Now, Connacht is heading towards the touchline. I think we're going to see a double change here, because Stan Mills is going to make his way off. Chris Mikosso is coming on, but I wonder what your take is on that. Because you only normally see a game stopped if it's a serious injury.
Certainly at this point in the game as well. Can they wait and just lead the play and knowing that it's cramp and let the game continue? I think it's up to the side who have the ball if the Preston players want to get themselves back into the game, it's up to them. It's their divine right to keep the game flowing if they want to, but it's not often you see the referee blow the whistle and stop the game for something like that. It's normally the head injuries, which is completely understandable, but for cramp, not quite sure.
Having said that, he has gone off, and so Mills and Connacht off for Chris Makosso and Will Vokes on for the remainder of this game, which stands at about 10 minutes and change, I would say. As Oxford still leading 3-1, have some defending to do now. A throw in for Preston, around 20 yards from the corner flag. A TV cameraman got in the way of Andrew Hughes there as he threw it long into the area, away by Kieran Brown at a funny angle for Oxford. So it was kept in by Michal Helik and cleared only as far as Offia, crossing into the penalty area, met by Story. Defender got in the way, back to the 18-yard box, flicked into the penalty area once again by Hughes, and then the shot from deep. Goalkeeper saved it, just clawed it away. Now the cross back towards the back post, flicked to the 18-yard, and this time there is a tame finish at the end of it. Nobody could get any power on it. Jordan Story it was with that final effort. 3 chances there on goal for Preston, and none of them can force their way past the goalkeeper. It's gone all the way down to Cornell at the other end. 10 minutes to go. Preston 1, Oxford 3.
Yeah, Hughes, I think, with the best opportunity of the 3, wasn't it, with his left foot. Nice effort from him, coming in the right place at the right time, just in front of it. I think it's a save that goalkeeper should make, if I'm brutally honest with you, but they're knocking on the door, Preston, aren't they? Haven't given up. They're giving every ounce that they've got, but those 3 lacks in concentration is where they find themselves in the game. 3-1 down.
Well, quiet. It was Hughes with that left-footed effort, 18-yard box, a little bit off balance. Goalkeeper, well, it was one for the cameras, really, as he tipped it away. You're right, it is one you would expect him to make. The point is he's been made to make them now, finally. Preston putting more pressure on as Vokes clears and is side down. Out for a throw-in Oxford's own half as we have a change for the home team. Jordan Thompson has gone off. And Thierry Small, who hasn't made the matchday squad for the last 2 games, a selection decision, according to Paul Heckingbottom, is on for the final 10 minutes or so of this one. Barely missed the game all season. Pace to boot. Can he use it wisely now? With his side losing by 3-1 against the relegation threatened team. All good news for Oxford United. That's going to be a happy journey home for their 400 or so travelling fans away to our left. They've not seen much action at that end since the Oxford 3rd goal. Preston struggling to get their claws into their opponents though. And that has been, well, the story of the night, Mickey Gray.
Well, I'm so happy for these Oxford supporters because you're right, that is a long journey. It really is. I mean, they're on the attack here. I think they've won themselves a foul, but absolutely back-to-back wins. It's amazing what it can do. And I think, if I'm right, I think they climb out of the bottom 3. West Bromwich Albion drop in there. If this stays the way it is at 3-1, and that's it. It's momentum, it's confidence, and it just keeps things ticking over.
Quite right, they do. They will send the Baggies into the bottom 3 overnight at least. As Oxford do have a free kick 35 yards out. Miles Peart-Harris fouled. Referee saw no discernible advantage and saw a free kick a good way left of centre actually, but still very much a shooting opportunity. Brannigan looks like he fancies this at the moment. He would have to hit it pretty hard, but we've seen these going in the Championship so far this season. A couple of goals from the set play at the weekend for Oxford, and Brannigan sending teammates away, going on the right foot, shooting well. He got the power but not the accuracy. Never curled. We were all waiting for it. Mickey Gray is laughing away to my right, and it just didn't have an ounce of bend on it, and it fired like a rocket into the empty stands behind the goal. 3-1 Oxford lead.
Well, look, you're leading 3-1. Why not? Have a shot. Just waste a little bit of time. But I think he'll know himself that was a little bit maybe thinking in his head, should I actually take this on? I think he'd have been better playing it towards the far post there, Brannigan. But yeah, it's a free kick. They deserve it. When you're 3-1 up, take a chance.
Well, they're happy to play without the ball, Oxford. They've been doing it all season. They've been doing it especially in this game. And it hasn't hurt them. They lead 3-1. 84 minutes on the clock at Deepdale on Talksport 2 as Spencer receives Donnelly's pass tight to the touchline and was tracked by Offia, who sends it back to his goalkeeper without much issue. Cornell playing it back the way it came, actually, off here again. Right for the ball over halfway, looking for Osmajic. Got the chest on it, plays it out near side. Thierry Small now crossing along the ground into the penalty area. Great ball and put behind by Makosso. It will be a corner. That is the kind of cross that Preston have been waiting for all night long.
What a ball. It's fantastic from Small. The little give and go. Osmajic does really well, held the ball up, but he plays a nice ball down the right hand side in his path, in his stride path. You see Small there just has a quick little look up, and what a ball. Somebody has to get on the end of it.
Well, it is a corner. Preston 3-1 down, whipped in towards the goalkeeper, gets a punch on it. How many times has that happened tonight? Picked up by Whiteman, is the only outfielder outside the Oxford penalty area. Crosses but hits a defender, and then Peart Harris clears away. It was a poor cross. There were 3 Oxford shirts lined up on the 6-yard box, and the cross landed right in the middle of them as Cornell has to come out of his area to clear. Preston, to their credit, have got the ball straight back up in that zone of danger, but have lost it from the touch of Whiteman. And a long ball has served Oxford well here. They've got options now. Donnelly arriving 35 yards out on his left boot up towards the penalty area. Dallied a little bit too long on it though. Gave it to Whiteman, and his long ball is eaten up by Kieran Brown, who cleared, but there was an offside flag up anyway. Osmajic will argue the toss with the assistant referee. It's a free kick Oxford. They lead 3-1, and at this point I think we can still use the verb cruising. They're cruising to a win.
Oh, absolutely, and thoroughly deserved to be winning. Took their chances. For the life of me, I don't understand why Preston are leaving four defenders at the back now, Cameron. They might as well just take some risks and put 2 centre halves further forward and get that ball into that Oxford area, give themselves a chance. I know we're running out of time, but you just never know in this game. We've seen it so many times in football.
Well, Preston fans are starting to leave around us now. 86 minutes. The long free kick has ended up with a ricochet that's only brought it out for a goal kick. Well, the referee is... he's seen something. That's only going to be a substitution. I thought he was coming over for a word there with Jamie Donnelly. And that's why, because Jamie Donnelly is coming off on the near side. He was trying to cross the field and he took as much time as he could. He's been told to go off at the nearest available exit point for Mark Harris to come on, and into the attack he goes. Well, they're not putting an extra defender on, Oxford. Happy with this game as it is, and Harris goes into the front line. They are leading 3-1, and Preston still flattering to the sea. Forward they come though, home side at Deepdale. Deepdale that is emptying very quickly. Small taking it into the attacking third, trying to navigate there around Harris. First touch for him. The referee and the assistant can't seem to make up their minds, and they've gone with a defensive throw-in. Maybe that's the default if they're not sure, but they were staring at each other. Preston were getting ready to take a throw-in. Oxford weren't at all sure it was their ball, and eventually, after a long conflab, the assistant and the referee have awarded it to the defending team. That's going to have any bearing on this game. Closing up the 90 now, 88th minute. Preston 1, Oxford 3 on Talksport 2, as the header away is from Kieran Brown, scorer of the last goal in this game. Might well be the last one. Preston trying and failing to get back into it. Jefferson has lost the ball 35 yards out. He tried a little flick and couldn't bring the ball into Osmajic, as in League 2 there was a share of the points between Cheltenham and Barrow, 2-2. As in the dying moments over on Talksport, Liverpool are heading into the 6th round of the FA Cup. They lead Wolves 3-0 at Molineux, making up for that defeat in the Premier League this week. Wolves have got one back actually. Just as we say it, they're into added time. There will be something. Hwang Hee-chan has got a consolation, and it's not quite got that dive for Preston now. Small crossing in, work to be done, 2 goals to get back, too deep it is, and out on the fall for a goal kick. And it's another disappointing moment in the final third for Preston.
Yeah, I think all these Preston supporters now are just waiting for the full-time whistle, but there's no question of that. The supporters who've made that long journey have enjoyed their night tonight, and they will be cheering their side at the end of this game of football. Back-to-back wins, absolutely brilliant. And Mark Bloomfield will be thrilled to pieces with the way his side have performed tonight. Under pressure at times. We talked about the possession, 29% in the first half. 15 touches in Preston's opposition half, which was more than the home side, believe it or not. But clinical. Got the chances, put the ball in the back of the net, wanted the game more. And that's what you have to do in the Championship.
Well, it goes to show you don't need to have the ball for long periods, do you? 31% of the ball tonight. They don't have it now. They're happily sitting behind it, all 11 men of Oxford. 3-1 up they are. We're in the last minute normal time at Deepdale. A Small cuts in off the wing, crosses towards the back post, heads up from both sides. It'll be headed clear as far as Vucevic, who's been a bit of a bright spark down that left side since coming up. And he takes it throwing back towards Hughes. 1-2 between those two, and then I've just praised him. He's put the ball straight out of play. He was trying to play it down the line for Devine, got it wrong, and Oxford have a throw-in that they are in no rush to take.
I think we're just about to find out how many added minutes are on at the end of this game. And Cameron, I'm not quite sure that the Preston players and the manager want a lot of minutes, because they're not going to get back into this game. And just on the screen to the left-hand side of us now, we can see Paul Heckingbottom. Gloomy face, of course. He'll be absolutely seething inside.
Well, it's a big allocation of minutes, 6 minutes, and if Preston had offered a little bit more, there might have been a bit of a roar around Deepdale. In the end, there was nothing, no reaction to it. More are leaving around us as Small finds his path up the line, blocked. Oh, it's happened again. The referee and assistant in conflab, and Preston seems sure to have that ball. I thought it was their ball as well. The referee's assistant has said it's come out of Small, and so Oxford will have a throw. They've got a man down for the moment, though. It's Spencer who's on his haunches. I can just see the referee tapping his watch there, as if to say, lads, this is going on at the end. But as Oxford shape up for this throw-in, it seems their 2-goal lead is in no jeopardy at all. It's been that way since the hour mark. 2 goals in 6 minutes to make it 2-1, then 3-1 after we went in to the break all level. Mihal Helig opening the scoring after 5 minutes for the away side. Well, Smajic got Preston level, and it was a level first half. It's gone awry for Preston since then, as added time continues to tick by. Some big games coming tomorrow across the network. 5 live commentaries. Huge game up at the top of the division at 12:30 on Talksport 2. Hull versus Millwall. Ipswich Leicester follows at 3. And on Talksport, Mansfield versus Arsenal in the FA Cup 5th round at 12:15. Game day live from 2:30 before Wrexham versus Chelsea and Newcastle versus Manchester City. Oh, header forward into the path of Osmajic from the long ball, crossed into the area. But the goalkeeper reacting first. A good use of a free kick from Preston, but coming equal to it, saw the danger and came out with gloves raised. 3-1 Oxford lead, 2 of the added 6 minutes elapsed.
How much did he want to get hurt there, Osmajic? You know, did he want to be brave? Did he want to poke his foot in and have a 50-50 with coming in that Oxford goal? Not quite sure it's quite there yet.
Well, here come Preston again with Osmajic. Near side there, right, crossing in around waist height. It's gone out off long for a corner. And the Preston fans who are staying to the end, some of them have optimism now. And they've got 9 men in the middle. They're waiting for this corner to be taken by Small. And then home fans taking umbrage with how long he was taking to put the ball down. He's played it long, flat into the area. Oh, missed by the first men who go after it. And then Makosso clears it away. It missed attackers and defenders. And not for the first time, Mickey Gray. We're left saying if anyone can get a touch on that, it's goal bound. Might well be 3-2.
Well, if he was clever with his clearance there, he had Pert Harris in a position where he was running through with no defender behind him. He's just cleared his lines. What a different opportunity maybe earlier on in the game. That was a big chance for Oxford to maybe add to their lead.
Well, there is time for Preston still. They've gone along again. Story into the penalty area, headed away. That's what they've been doing all night long, Oxford United. Half of the 6 minutes now gone in added time. 3-1 the visitors lead at Deepdale, and their fans are singing them to victory down the field now. Those left in Preston colours willing their side on. Story, oh, he's lost it, and he might be in trouble here, and he's fouled Mark Harris. That's going to be a yellow card. He was inside his own half. If he'd been over halfway, it might have been a clear goal scoring opportunity, but he received the ball from Whiteman. I don't think he really wanted it. Got the ball stuck in his feet, and then was left to haul down Mark Harris, rugby league style, and it's a free kick to Oxford, and they've got Preston exactly where they want them. 3-1 up and heading for victory.
Well, for the life of me, I just don't understand why they're not putting the ball into Oxford's area. You've got to take a risk, you've got to take chances, but trying to play out on the centre line when Oxford are just waiting to nick the ball and get themselves on the front foot and break away and add to the lead that they've already got. And every single time I seem to be talking at the moment, Cameron, you can hear the murmurs and the boos and the jeers. And as I'm talking now, they're all up out of their seats, heading for the tunnels, the exit doors. They know what's coming.
Mass exodus, the words that come to mind. That free kick has gone out on the foot. And so Preston have a throw in. But they know the game is up now. Not going to find these 2 goals in the 2 minutes of added time that remain. And indeed, it's one of those nights where they could play until midnight and they might not come with what they've offered. That goal well taken in the first half from Osmajic. They needed him to level the game. They haven't been able to level once more in this second half. Promotion dreams in tatters. The damage probably already done. But this one is another bad night as Oxford looks set to climb out of the bottom 3. Just a little more defending to do. A little over a minute of added time. Here comes Small heading for the corner flag against Spencer, who stretched out her right leg and touched on the ball. And this throw-in has gone Preston's way, and home fans with a bit of gallows humour. Hence the jeers you can hear as Small from the right side crosses towards White Shirts, only finds a yellow one. Once again it's cleared away by Oxford, and with Prelets with his back to goal. Couldn't get it clear comfortably though, so picked up by Dobbin, whose influence has been stunted in this second half. He's robbed of possession, and Pete Harris, as Oxford look for a fourth, runs up to halfway but finds he has no support around him. 30 seconds of added time remaining. Oxford fans still singing. Preston looking for any goal that might lift their fans a little bit. Into the penalty area it goes. Osmajic played in by Jebison. Defender coming across sees it out. Helic sending it for a corner, which will surely now be the last act of the game, or at least of the 6 allotted minutes. 3-1 Preston trail. Corner far side there left. In swinger towards Story, got a first flick on it, not much on it though, and sent out to the edge of the area. Whiteman fails with his ball back in, and Oxford now can run this away from danger with Long. He's up to the halfway line, and there is the full-time whistle. Boos around Deepdale. A huge blow to Preston's promotion hopes. Just 1 win and 11 in all competitions. Surely now there's no way back in a season that held so much promise. But joy for Oxford. Back-to-back victories. They will enter the weekend outside the championship bottom 3. 2 huge steps in the direction of safety. It's finished at Deepdale. Preston 1, Oxford 3, and Mickey Gray, you were here alongside me to see it. It's a massive, massive win for Oxford, but first, that reaction from Preston fans says it all.
Yes, it does, and those boos and jeers came very early on in the game when Preston started conceding the goals. The first one coming, after 4 minutes. So it was an uphill challenge for the home side tonight, and I don't think they reacted in the manner that they needed to, certainly in that second 45 minutes. They needed to show more, they needed to be more clinical in that final third, but the away side were more clinical, and I'm pleased as punch for them. They defended for their lives tonight. The away supporters will be absolutely chuffed to pieces. Long journey home, but they'll have smiles on their faces, no question about that. This is a great night for Oxford. It's a terrible night for Preston.
Well, a word on those Oxford fans. Several hundred away from them. Of course, they're all staying to the end, and their team are going to head over to them now. There's some dejected-looking Preston players who are clapping those who stay behind, and it's good to see. It's heartening that there are Preston fans clapping their team. No lack of effort, but the quality was not there. Oxford players are being serenaded, though, as now the boos do come from some in the Preston sections of Deepdale. But for Oxford, well, their supporters, several hundred, will be home in the early hours of Saturday morning, but they've seen their side win again. Back-to-back wins now. A huge helping hand on the weekend, last time out with a win over West Brom. It's West Brom they've sent into the bottom 3 ahead of the Saturday games, and they now will believe they can escape relegation to League One for the second successive season. Preston trudging off the field now to that mix of claps and jeers. Michal Helic gave the away side the lead after 5 minutes. A mess at the back for Preston, and that set the tone for the game. They were level from a good header from Milutin Osmajic. Only 7 minutes later, that was the scoring done in an even first half. But then, within 15 minutes of the break, Will Lancashire deflecting in a shot from the edge of the box from Stan Mills, and then Kieran Brown steering in a long throw from Mihal Helik, and that did the damage. There was no coming back from it, and Oxford have the victory. It's a little bit toxic. It's a difficult place to be, Deepdale, at the moment. Their torrid home form continues. Playoffs now a pipe dream. Maybe the 8 teams will help them next season, but it's going to be an 11th straight season in the second tier. Time now to pick our man of the match with McDonald's.
Man of the Match on Talksport 2 with McDonald's. The Big Arch is here to stay at McDonald's with its very own delicious sauce. Available from 11 a.m, subject to availability. Price and participation may vary.
Well, Mickey, we've got 3 Oxford goal scorers, but as you said, the defender with their lives there, it was the consummate team effort. Who's getting your pick for man of the match tonight?
Well, I could have chose any of the Oxford players. I really could. But I think from what I've seen with my eyes, the performance, I'm going to give it to Stanley Mills. I thought it was an excellent performance from him. He drove from those wide areas. He caused a problem all night. He was involved in a couple of the goals. Could have actually scored himself, apart from the Lancashire little nick at the end from his shot. So I'm going to give it to him.
Well, that's our man of the match pick. That was all thanks to McDonald's.